So we're just chatting about, not particularly in finances, but we saw the girl leave outside our job, and she has like an entry-level job, but all of a sudden she's not wearing scrubs. She has like a nice like a blouse on and a blazer, and she gets into this Mercedes-Benz, and it's not like some low-end Mercedes-Benz. I don't know the model number, but it was like blue with this like gray detailed paint, and like you could see had a moonroof, and it was definitely new.
She was a what? What was she? A nurse?
For us, she's like a medical assistant.
Oh, all right.
But they don't make a lot of money or whatever.
No,
but I'm
yeah.
like, what's happening? She like jumped out of scrubs and like into like some kind of Supergirl. She's in this like blouse and all dressed up nice. So I thought maybe it's a doppelganger. Like maybe that's not who I'm looking at. Maybe it's just someone who looks like her.
Sure.
Because at work we're just nosy. It's what we do. We're looking out windows.
Yeah.
So I go to the lady she was working with, and I'm like, hey, did so-and-so have a Mercedes-Benz? And she's like, yeah, she does. She has another job. I'm like, wow, she must be great with finances. And she goes, well, she only has one kid. And that got me thinking.
What?
Yeah, she only has one kid. She
Right.
says, like, well, that's why she can afford everything. I do the same thing.
What?
Instead of being fiscally responsible,
right.
I always say, got 4 kids.
Yeah, right.
People looking at me like, why don't you dress nice? 4 kids.
4 kids,
That's all I
sorry.
say.
Good excuse.
You know what I'm saying? What? Hey, you want to go on that cruise with me next year, Joe?
Yeah.
Be like, you want to go on the cruise? Joe, 4 kids.
Yeah,
I'll
exactly.
be in the Wallkill area,
4
library. That's all I do.
Yeah.
4 kids.
Why are you a Giants fan? 4 kids. Sorry.
kids.
4
It's
kids.
either like I got to save up money or I got to be fiscally responsible, or I just keep saying 4 kids. So it's
4
worked out
kids.
for me.
That's what
Good
it is.
excuse.
In
Well,
any
see,
case,
I have 17 though, so I'm good
right.
with that. Even better.
17
So some
kids,
guy
yeah.
who does know about his 17 Bangladeshi kids is my host to the right, Joe.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back.
Hey, Joe.
What's going on, guys?
Not
Joe's
much,
a
man. How you
proud
doing?
pop, and then the grandpa of the 17 Bangladeshi kids.
Yeah,
to my
man.
left.
Hey, how's it going? Welcome to the show.
And we also have our main guy, a backup brain, and producer
He's my
Brian.
backup brain.
I got an awesome tattoo since last episode. You
I
just
didn't
can't
know
see it.
that.
Yeah.
What? You guys definitely
It's
can't
a
see it.
full
Neither
body
can I.
tattoo.
You have to wonder what it is.
Yeah. It's a full body tattoo of
It's a
Brian's
full body
brain.
tattoo.
Yes.
And it's probably going to be made. I'm looking forward to seeing it later on, Brian.
Yes.
All right,
Yeah.
guys. So as you probably figured out, it's the Loosely Related Podcast. If you like what we do here, please hit us up on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music, and YouTube. And don't forget to find us at our website, looselyrelatedpodcast.com. Now, on to the show.
And don't forget to see what's different about the show today.
You got to find out
Whoop, whoop,
what's
whoop, whoop.
different.
Well, Joe, why don't you start us off, as you normally do, with what national holidays we got going
Oh,
on?
sure. We got a lot of them today, Rob.
We did
man.
have a lot, right?
There's a
It's
couple.
ridiculous.
There's a couple of ones that
Well,
are.
let's start with the big one because I want to
yeah,
get this
hey.
thing cracked.
Yeah, all right. So, all right, we have like 9 of them, but the most important one of all is National. Let me get up to it here. Hold on, quick. I'm not at it yet.
Of course.
National.
Gotta get the suspense up.
Yes,
I could-
National Beer Lovers
Day.
Whoa.
So let's get a little crack, a celebratory crack.
So this is we're drinking some of our
Right.
favorite beers. Not
Cheers to National
not,
Beer Lovers Day.
Not sponsored.
Don't worry, it's noon right now.
Not
It's noon.
sponsored. Blue Point Toasted Lager is one of our favorites. It's actually brewed.
It's like
I think
5 minutes
down
before
in,
noon.
I
Yeah.
think it's brewed down in Brooklyn or something.
No,
like
no,
that,
no, no. It's
Bronx or
Blue Point,
something.
Long Island.
That's it. I knew it was New
That
York.
is
Long
a
Island.
delicious
I was
beer.
close.
That
Yeah,
is
I was
a
close.
very
It
good
does.
beer.
It
You
does
guys
say.
are good.
It does say Long Island on the beer can.
So
That's a hint. There's a picture with an arrow to the island.
Yep.
yep.
But I'm
Too
not
bad I
saying
can't
that you
read.
guys are calling me fat or anything, but why did I get the label?
Well,
I'm not trying to draw conclusions.
you know,
but I'm
we,
just
we
saying that I
care.
did
We
get
care
the
about
label.
our friends. You know.
All right, I appreciate
We
it.
care about your health, and we don't take care of our own health, but we want to make sure that our friends' health.
I take care of my
Thank
own
you.
health. Look at me.
I was
So,
gonna say Brian's
Yeah,
doing all right.
Brian does
All right,
good.
Brian.
Every other day I
Doing
run like 4.5 miles.
Yeah. Yep. 4.5 miles
don't
on
know how
on a virtual simulator where he's in his chair.
I don't know how- yeah.
The VR, they got the headsets on.
Oculus Rift. I'm doing well.
I don't want to brag, but I do drive back and forth 30 miles a day
There you go.
to work. Back
There you
and forth.
go.
All right, Joe, hit us up with those other holidays.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so there's some other ones. Of course, a lot of them seem to be on the theme of the National Football League starting their first week of football this year, and it seems like some of these things are just like about that kind of thing because one
Yeah.
of them is National Tailgate Day.
Oh, okay.
All right, so we got National Tailgate Day. I was going to bring a like a little cookout thing, put it in front, like cook it on the store and show
Hibachi
it.
grill.
Take orders and
No,
stuff.
we should have bought a hibachi grill. Those
Yeah,
have wheels. We
hibachi
can
grill.
roll it in.
Yeah.
Roll it in
exactly.
and just
That's
start
true.
cooking right here.
We can have a hibachi special, episode 20.
Set
Yes.
the
Look
whole
forward to it.
set the whole set on
We will
fire.
deliver hibachi.
Well, now I'm looking forward to it, Brian. You can't promise me something like that.
Yeah,
That's my
it's
thing.
Pretty crazy.
I love hibachi.
And then the next one is National Acorn Squash Day.
National Acorn Squash
Yeah,
I don't
Day.
want to hear
National
this crap
Acorn
about
Squash,
acorn squash. You
believe
wake me
it or
up when
not.
the summer squash is on. That's real man squash.
Yes.
So acorn squash. It's
Yes,
also
Brian.
called pepper squash or
Pepper
Des Moines
squash.
squash.
Yes.
Des Moines
Oh,
squash.
now that you
It's
said
a
Des
win-
Moines,
it's
I
a
know what you're
winter
talking
Who
squash.
about.
cares? That's a boring one.
Yeah, now that you said Des Moines, I'm keyed in. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Oh, if you guys are interested, it says how to observe National Beer Lovers Day. Always in limited supply. These
doing it.
beer socks demand a celebration. Be sure to check them out. So I don't know. Question: how?
Wait, would you
many-
say beer what? Beer
Always
socks?
in
Beer
limited
socks,
supply.
I thought.
Beer socks.
Isn't
Beer
that
sock.
that's
Like
like
a cozy?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
thing you
Yeah.
put it in.
Beer
yeah.
cozy.
right.
Whatever it's
Brewer
called.
will
Beer
master
socks,
blah blah
whatever,
blah.
I don't know.
So it does in how many different styles of beer? All right, we'll just move
Let's
on.
just
from
move on
that.
to the days because this is
So
like
we don't have
okay.
maybe Joey a little bit here, but National Beer Day, World
Beard Day.
World.
Rob's got a
Beard
beard right
Day.
now. You mean?
Oh, and you got
Rob
both
grew
you
his
guys
beard
do.
out.
This is very luscious.
Actually,
Had I
that's-
known that, I wouldn't have
That's
shaved
longer
yesterday.
than it usually is,
I
right?
just shaved
This
it
way
a
you
few
would have,
days
like-
ago. Just unlike the top of my head, this hair grows pretty rapidly.
Yeah. Yep.
good.
So yeah, and the
It's-
next
it's-
one.
Fantastic.
It grows a good. You grow a good beard though. I like
Thank you,
it.
sir.
It does grow. You grow a nice beard.
That's exactly what he said the night we met at that bar.
yeah.
You really know how
You
to
grow
make
a nice
me feel
beard.
good.
There we go. And then that's how I
Appreciate
got
that,
him
man.
in. I reeled him
You
in.
reeled me right in
and
with
that's it.
it didn't even take the van, the puppies that your dad was driving around with.
No.
Just got to give a nice compliment.
Well,
That's it.
speaking of epic beards, the longest beard goes to Hans Langseth
okay.
from Norway.
I don't know who the hell that is, but I believe it based on his credentials,
Hans.
aka his
Guinness-
name.
The Guinness World Book of Records, his beard was 17 feet 6 inches long.
He definitely lives somewhere up in the Swiss Alps. He has one of those
Yeah,
long things that he blows like the Vikings blow.
How do you have the patience
No,
to
he
just
actually-
grow that? Like,
Yeah.
That's how the
does
girls get
sound
picked
like he
up
could
there.
have
It's
done
not
that.
sports cars or how big down below is. It's the beard.
Yeah,
I gotta have that beard, Hans.
I would hate to be the one who had to brush that beard out. and keep
Yeah.
that- He probably had all kinds of things grown in that beard. You know what I'm saying?
Including
for years.
including his children.
Yeah, probably his children.
I lost a child in my beard last winter.
All right, so this kind of is this time of year. We're in the Hudson Valley, New York, and this time of year it's just like right in between summer and winter.
Fall.
Right?
Yeah.
Summer and
Oh,
fall.
is that what they
There
call that?
There's one season.
Is that
that's
There's one
fall?
season in there somewhere,
Oh,
fall.
Yeah.
I just call it the season between those two.
Yeah,
Seasons.
I don't call it fall. I just call it the
Yeah.
season in between.
Yeah.
Okay. So
And
what about it?
and that's the National Neither Snow Nor Rain Day. So
National neither
neither
snow
snow
nor
Are you
rain.
just making
Day.
things
such a
up at this
weird
point?
national day. Like,
snow
at that
nor
point, what's
rain.
the point? Like,
Right.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
You know what's funny
make it a
about these?
national day for the sake of making a national day.
Yeah, no.
And
it's
how
just
can you
make-
national
someone's
sake
job?
of national
Right.
days.
They're like really mailing it in now. They're just like National Snowflake Day,
Yeah. Right.
National take a dump on the sidewalk day.
But
Yeah.
I also feel like
National Basketball Day.
how do you go ahead and say national rain? What is it? No rain or snow? First of all, doesn't it rain in Seattle like
Yeah.
every other day?
Yeah,
How pissed
national-
is Seattle? I thought it was
So you
National No
can't-
Rain Day.
So if you're in those places, you can't celebrate either one of those days.
Yeah.
Is there a
that's what I'm
hotline they
saying.
can call up and complain?
How
If
pissed
someone's
is-
Yeah,
sitting
this
there?
is we have
Hello?
some of these days just getting ridiculous. I
Yeah.
think. And then there's National Grandma Moses Day.
okay.
What? Who's
Yeah.
Grandma Moses?
All right, so Grandma Moses is a woman named Mary Robertson Moses.
And okay.
She was born September 7th, 1860. She died December 13th, 1961.
Right. Yeah.
So she's
100
not on the Twitterverse, I guess.
No.
I don't think so.
But if she was, she can
But-
look us up on Twitter,
Yeah.
YouTube, and our own website at Loosely Related Podcasts.
In honor of Grandma. Grandma Moses.
Grandma
I'm sorry.
Moses.
God,
Grandma Moses.
I'm never gonna remember that name. It's a great name too. That's
We
I
should-
I
we
love.
should-
I
All
love
right.
that name.
God bless Grandma Moses. Tell us about her.
All right,
Now let's
so
hear a little bit
anyway,
about this
she serves as an inspiration to those who start a career late in life. For most of her life, Anna Moses was known as either Mother Moses or Grandma Moses.
Mm-hmm.
She's especially inspirational since Grandma Moses began a career in the arts at an advanced age.
Huh.
What arts?
What
Martial?
arts? Martial arts. Obviously,
Taekwondo.
specifically mixed martial arts.
Mixed martial arts.
Yeah.
She was big into MMA.
She was
She was
doing-
original.
She was doing South America. What is that one? The jiu-jitsu?
Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, that's it. Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
She's the one who talked like
And-
the
Is this
Gracies.
the same Moses from the Bible?
Yes, it is.
It could
Well, this
be.
is
It
Moses'
could be.
grandma.
It sounds like it is.
Yeah.
Sounds like she was born right at
You know how
sometime
Moses was a
right around
cage
that
fighter?
time.
Yeah, Moses
Yeah.
learned this from his grandma.
Yeah.
I remember
He learned
reading
how to
that
be-
in the
yeah,
Bible.
In the Bible, it says that.
Read
He
the
fought-
Bible,
He was
it's
a
there.
cage fighter. Yeah.
Right. So after arthritis made it difficult for Mrs. Moses to embroider, She turned to painting as a creative outlet. She picked up the medium in her 70s. So she was an
Wow,
artist
holy!
at 70
She
years
started
old.
painting at 70 years
Yeah,
old.
yeah, pretty cool.
Dude,
I
it's
guess.
awesome.
I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
I'm a little late.
I feel like every other
You
day
only
you
have
have
a few
new-
weeks left
I
on
have
to
a few
start.
weeks late, so I have to start at 71.
But you already kind of did. Like so you're gonna notice on our new website we have a new icon, and it's actually that's why I was
right.
happy you mentioned this because I was like, you technically started that. The other day he goes, "Hey, I spent like an hour and a half at work today designing our new icon for our podcast,"
Yeah.
and I go
It's
on the
actually
website.
been about a week.
It's not
I
bad.
hope nobody at his
He's
job
never
is
done
listening.
it before, right or wrong?
No,
Not
actually,
really.
No,
I
no,
like it.
because I've designed
Yeah, it wasn't
websites before for myself.
But I'm saying like making it like a legitimate icon, just that like
No, I have.
because what you did it in
Not like that. Not in
Not
the way
like
that I
that.
did it because
Yeah.
I had to figure out because there are different formats for what, and I
Yeah.
had to figure out how to do it and upload it
Yes.
under the correct format, PNG,
PNG,
under same right amount of pixelation.
JPEG.
You know, it has certain requirements, so I had to learn that. So I taught myself that stuff at a later age.
There you
so
go, yeah.
Hopefully, there'll be a Grandma Joe day,
Okay, Grandma Joe Day.
Grandma Joe day someday.
Yeah.
Maybe we can make that a national day.
Yeah,
that would be
exactly.
pretty
I
awesome.
don't see
That's
why
awesome,
you couldn't,
man.
man. I think
Yeah.
it's funny all these national days. National Day, National Day. I haven't heard of any of these.
Yeah.
No.
How national is that? I don't
That's
think,
why
it doesn't seem to be like popping up on
And who
people's
decides
radar.
for every state? Like you, like all right. So you're some guy who decided for all 50 states that this is what we have to celebrate now. Like
Yeah.
what?
Well, I don't know where these come from, actually, Brian. Where does these come from?
Oh, Brian, can you like?
I
is
mean,
there-
this
where
website
did the
is it from like
This was handed down from
Hallmark cards,
Jesus.
or is it just some site that just declared these?
Oh, you know, I think
I don't
that
even
is
know
what
if
it
these
is.
are
Is it
legitimate
Hallmark?
ones.
Honestly, I think somebody told me
That's
that.
honestly a solid guess.
I think
feel like
Hallmark
that's a-
does make these days.
No, they do have their
I
own
think you're
days.
right.
You can get a card for every day of
Pretty
the year
much,
through
right? Yeah.
Hallmark. Go on the
Yeah.
Hallmark site. I think you can just get
Yeah.
it every day. Has a
Hashtag
celebration
not
you get it.
sponsored.
Hashtag
Not sponsored again.
So wait, you want me to look up what started
Look
this
up- Yeah,
website?
Yeah, what is this website? Who
look up-
runs this website?
Not even that necessarily. I just want to know. Look up who decides national days.
Yeah, right.
That's what I just want to know
Or is
who
it just-
decides it.
Yeah,
Well, there
absolutely.
are
No,
no
it's
in
interesting.
concrete type days, or it's just this. Is it this site's national days, and there's other ones? But
And
anyway,
in the meantime, Day, I'm sorry, you
Yeah,
got
go ahead.
more national days, or
yes, no, there are.
Oh,
I'm not going to go. There's no.
okay.
If you're interested, you can go to this website. It's nationaldaycalendar.com.
Hold on, you guys hear that? I hear a flutter of keys being hammered on people's laptops everywhere.
Yeah. So, and you can look up the every days. You could look at the month celebrations, and you can check out more of Mrs. Grandma Moses, and she has a pretty interesting story.
yeah.
You can,
So, yep. Go ahead,
you
Brian.
can register a day on the website. So
we can have our own day?
Oh, we
Yeah.
can make our own day.
Oh my gosh,
Dude,
that would be
Wait,
amazing.
so
Loosely related
you can,
podcast
you can,
day is the day we
there's
start
an
our first
application
podcast.
you have to send in. It says applications must be sent in at least 6 weeks before to be included in the digital form. Blah blah blah.
Oh my gosh.
So we can submit a loosely related.
Dude, that's
day.
awesome.
Yeah, let's do that.
Loosely related topics.
Grab,
Day.
But I'm worried that can go awry. What if we do loosely related and we just get a bunch of people in Walden who are like first and second cousins who now think it's a coming out day?
All right. You could do that.
No,
I'm
that's
putting-
awesome.
Not
dude.
that we're saying anything about Walden.
We're
but,
not we're
but
not
let me
maligning
just say
anybody
that
from Walden.
it
I
does
love you,
seem like there's a
Stephanie.
lot of cousins. There's
Yeah.
a lot of cousins involved.
Yes. And I'm gonna submit one for Grandpa Joseph Day.
Grandpa,
Joe
no,
Day.
no,
Grandpa-
Grandma Joe.
Grandma Joe Day.
Joseph, what?
Because I'm going
Moses?
to, and it's going to be,
All right.
I'm going into the technical arts because I'm going to do online technical art instead of just regular art. So anyway, so we have National Grateful Patient Day, which is actually for Rob and for me because
for you.
Because if you read it, it says National Grateful Patients Day on September 7th provides an opportunity to show appreciation for the hardworking professionals in the medical industry. So it's for all you patients out there who've had nurses like my counterpart on my right here, who's a nurse, and myself, who's worked in the medical device, pharmaceutical industry for my entire life. You got to show us some appreciation, man. I never get. I don't get any.
You don't get
respect.
appreciated.
You
I
can
get
show
no
us some
respect.
appreciation by finding us on Facebook, YouTube, and
Spotify.
Yes, there we go.
So if you
Spotify,
haven't-
we're just going to keep saying that.
If you hadn't
over and over
noticed, I
again.
said a couple episodes ago we're not mentioning our websites enough, and yeah.
So this whole episode just it's gonna be talking about our websites and
Yeah.
our
Over
practices
and
we just
over
over
and
and
over
over and
and
over
over.
and over.
if you
again.
say it,
Exactly.
it must be true.
yes,
All
So you
right.
got any
we
other
will
big ones, Joe?
indoctrinate all of you.
You got any other big ones?
Yeah, so we have how to serve. Then we got National Salami Day. I'm not going to get into it.
No, you know it's
But
salami.
yeah, salami. If you like salami, you
You
can
know
celebrate
what
by having a
it is.
salami sandwich. Yeah.
You're
Yeah,
good to
there you
go.
Jinx.
Jenks, salami sandwich.
National New
Jinx, you owe me a salami sandwich.
National New Hampshire Day. You know what's
Hey,
cool?
New
What-
Hampshire.
You know what's cool about this day? You know one of their
Hashtag not sponsored by New Hampshire.
not sponsored by New Hampshire. They're one of their famous lines. Okay, hold on. Let me just go back here
Their
because it's
state
kind of
motto,
interesting.
right?
Their state motto, a couple other things, but National
pretty
New Hampshire
hardcore.
Day on September 7th recognizes the ninth state to join the Union, the Granite State. Epitomizes.
Uh-oh. I got worried about what was coming.
you
what was going to happen right there? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Stop laughing back there, you producer.
Well, he's your brain. He knows
He
what
is
you're
my
going to
brain.
say.
Back
before
your
you
brain
say
knew.
it.
I got afraid there for
He
a
was
second.
almost going to edit you in real time. He's like, beep.
He almost did, yeah. So yeah, just please keep me on point here,
Yeah, I
okay?
gotcha.
All right. So it says it epitomizes New England in many ways, from its breathtaking landscapes to its fascinating history and people. Have you ever wondered where the phrase "not yet begun to fight" originated?
I don't even. I've never heard that phrase.
Oh,
so no.
what? Are you kidding me?
Not
That's a
young
famous
began.
phrase.
Wait, what is it?
Not
Not yet begun.
begun to
I have
fight,
not
yeah.
yet begun to fight.
Oh, I'm gonna nod like yes because I don't want to sound like an idiot.
The
Do you know
answer is
who-
yes.
do you
That's
know
the
the-
answer.
do you know-
Yes.
All right, let's
The
see.
answer is simply
Let's
yes.
see if any of you know who it is. The famous person who said those words.
Well, it's probably a northerner, obviously.
Sam Adams.
It was
I would
probably
say-
during
Not-
Civil
not
War.
Close. It's kind of close. He was a. I
was
think he was a
obvious-
naval
John
officer in the
Adams.
First Navy.
Oh.
Oh well, then it was definitely Iggy Azalea.
and he was a member of the. He was a member of the band in Led Zeppelin. Played the
Oh.
the organ, and he was.
Oh, you've actually told me this
You
before.
played the organ.
Because
Yeah, once in a
you
while.
used that same
Skinflint.
hint before.
Well,
Uh,
George Washington.
Obviously, I know who
John
it is now.
Paul Jones.
John Paul
that's-
Jones.
this
I
guy.
don't cheat. You're looking it up. He's looking it up over
Totally.
there.
He's
Well,
the,
that-
first of all, that's his job. He's the fact checker. All
No,
right.
you can't do that.
Thank you, John Paul Jones, because I was going to guess it was my father.
Isn't it
I
so
actually, I
weird.
could have made, I probably could have guessed that.
Yeah, Brian's not really our
He
fact
probably
checker.
could have guessed it. So, but instead he decided to cheat
Yeah, exactly.
and look it up on the internet.
No.
He's honing his skills.
Exactly.
See, everybody would have known I was cheating because I would have said, "Hey Siri, who's the guy who made this quote?" And I would have said it out loud. Or I
Siri would
tried
have
to
given the
whisper
wrong
it.
answer anyway.
Yeah, and
know
then
what's kinda-
Siri would have screwed it completely up.
Siri,
and
go
she
back
would have
to
known nothing.
school.
You know what's kind of funny? The other day we were talking. I knew you were just saying Brian was honing his skills. The other day we were talking. So like we were talking about the podcast. We were saying like how like we're all doing this for fun and it's mostly fun. And if it does take off one day, that's great.
Yeah.
We're like Brian's the only one who's gonna get like actual like benefit from it.
Yeah, oh,
Because
yeah.
Brian can put this shit on his
He's gotta-
resume.
this is a
I already
job
have,
for
like
him.
get a job.
He's an intern.
So he's gonna get a job
an
off this
intern.
and actually make money technically.
Yeah.
Off, in the technical way off the podcast.
Yeah. Dude, it's
And
funny.
well-
Yesterday I applied for a job and they're like, "Show us examples of your work." I was like, loosely
Well,
related.
now,
Loosely
loosely
related.
I put episode 10 on the
Did
application.
you really?
Yes,
Did you
I
really?
did.
No
yeah.
kidding.
Awesome, dude. That's
This
so
is
sick.
like
That was
the
Now you can
exact
put your
Producer
whole-
slash editor.
Yeah.
awesome.
awesome.
You
Yeah.
can
That's awesome.
put that whole thing on your resume
Yeah.
and stuff, and then on top of that, you could submit a day for a national recognition of the day, national celebration of Brian getting a job
Yeah.
because of Loosely Related.
There you go.
He
Or
took the
something
back
like
roads
that.
on that one.
He did.
Yeah.
He sure did.
I lost my train of
You
thought there.
did a
So,
little bit.
what I think is funny is as you're putting this on your resume, you might want to get him a resume because all he does is do this work at his actual job.
Yeah,
So hopefully nobody's listening to
Yeah.
this at your work.
it's so true.
So
He's
like
like,
I-
I was working on this at work today.
So, like I said, I could have remembered because I'm a big Revolutionary War buff. I love the Revolutionary
Oh, we're going back to
War
that. I'm sorry,
history.
my bad.
But it says if you ever wonder where the phrase came from, it came from New Hampshire's notable naval officers, John Paul Jones. I don't
Thank
know
you,
what
John Paul
officers.
Jones.
He's only one person.
All right.
And then, of course, another famous line that comes from this. They got a lot of famous lines coming from New Hampshire. So, "Live Free or Die."
Oh,
Hard.
okay, that's
the
obviously.
movie. You know,
Live
the movie?
Free or Die Hard was filmed
They
there.
they
yeah,
filmed
right.
it.
Yeah.
And yeah.
You know that we saw that in theaters, the three of us.
Yeah, you got to.
Rob, do you remember that though? The three
Yeah, I
of
remember
us
the
went to
movie.
go see
Yeah,
Live
we
Free or
thought it
Die.
was pretty good, right? Isn't
Yeah.
that the
Yeah,
part
no,
where he
that
jumps
was-
on the plane and all that?
Yes.
Yes, yeah,
yes.
yeah,
We were like
yeah.
surprised that was like pretty legit.
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
no doubt. We did
Yes,
see that.
dude, I like that movie. People don't like
Yeah,
that
no,
movie.
it was definitely entertaining.
Dude,
Yeah,
It's
no,
not
it was
really
good.
any
It was
different
fun.
than the other unbelievable
Yeah.
like Bond type
yes,
stuff.
right, yeah.
It was just instead of like all the gadgets, he just had some, his little one-liners, his
Yeah.
and then punching.
Yippee-ki-yay.
They were
Yeah.
enjoyable movies, even though they're so over the top. They were still
Yeah, they're
always
still
fun,
enjoyable,
dude.
You know?
Well, there's that one scene. Remember when he's on the plane and he slides off and he slides down the gravel
Yeah, that wouldn't rip your
thing,
skin
Yeah,
and
out.
we're
no.
like, no, that
Yeah.
wouldn't
Yeah.
tear your.
Yeah, I know.
Rob-
Like, these must be husky jeans he's wearing. Hashtag not sponsored.
Yeah.
Hashtag not sponsored by Brett Favre or Wrangler jeans.
All right, so today we're going to be talking about some other topics. A few weeks ago, to some people's dismay, we made people watch 4 movies, and then we
Yeah.
were going to come back to the
No,
comedy
you didn't
vault.
make me watch 4
No,
movies.
well, we tried to.
We tried to get you to watch.
We tried to,
4
and we
movies.
put it out there. And the idea of this comedy vault was essentially just to pick 4 movies that came out at least 10 years ago that you saw at least not in the most recent time.
Yeah.
Because everybody's recommended a movie to somebody with all kinds of pride, thinking it was an amazing movie, and then they find out that movie did not hold up for crap.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So with the ones we had spoke about, we talked about like Father Like Son. Mm-hmm. That came out in '87. We did Outside Providence. That came out in '99.
Okay. And if you want to refer back to, I think it's episode 7 is when we had that, right?
8, 9.
No,
I'm
8.
doing
I think it was
8.
8. Because
Our
this is
math
like,
skills are so good.
Episode
but
8.
How was 8?
Episode
we do
8.
it. We
Episode
do
8.
it every 3 hosts. 9, 10, 11.
Yeah,
It
right.
was
All right.
apparently
It was episode 8.
episode
Yeah,
8.
episode
All
8.
right,
Disney's the Kid and Master of Disguise. So it's funny. We're just talking about Bruce Willis. This is one of his less masculine roles in Disney's the Kid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then,
definitely.
and then Master of Disguise was, let me put this out hard, Brian. That was you, and we will be talking about that.
Yes,
Yeah.
we'll be talking about that.
All right. So
Brian,
I-
the film major over here, for suggesting one of the worst movies ever made.
I thought it was fun, Brian. I'm on your side. I'll defend you. I thought it was kind of funny. I like Dana Carvey.
I think that Brian, that was the crossover from your, like his being your back brain. I think a little bit of your brain might.
I
have
think
seeped
there was
into
a connection
Brian's.
there.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
never
happened.
said it was
It's like-
good.
yeah, right. That's true. That's
Again,
true.
I'm going to
That's
go
fair.
back to
Did
my.
you ever write
my-
something and then you think it's amazing and then you read it in the morning? You're like, was I drunk when I wrote this?
Yes.
I think that was Brian when he watched this movie. He's like, this holds up like crazy.
Yeah.
Oh no, the point was that it doesn't hold up, but we'll get
No.
to that.
We'll get to
right,
that, yes.
absolutely.
So
No, you're right.
I do think that you just rubbed off, our minds are melded somehow because it's like Voldemort and Harry Potter being connected.
Oh, yeah,
I know. Go
yeah,
back
yeah.
to our nerd thing again.
Yeah, Harry Potter nerd,
alert.
man. Harry Potter nerd alert. Every time he does
Nerd
that, I
alert.
want to get a sound bite that just says nerd alert.
Nerd alert.
Yeah.
Beep, nerd alert.
You want to talk about nerd alert?
Nerd
I
alert.
played in the U.S. College Quidditch tournament.
Oh,
the U.S.
see?
like the Quidditch Cup Finals.
Yes.
When
I
I
forgot
first
about
heard
that.
that, I swear I thought you guys were just kidding. I think it was at a wake, and we saw you there. And then your mom was telling me about
Yeah.
it. I was like, no, he didn't.
No, he did.
What, like
did.
in a
I
video
flew-
game? And
he
she was like,
flew
no,
to-
in real
I
life.
had a
Remember-
flight to Texas,
Texas.
and we had a tournament all day.
Wow, really?
Texas.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
And
At
they
least
say
you got to
Texans
travel.
aren't open-minded.
Did you fly
Yeah.
on brooms to Texas?
No.
Oh,
Well, no.
Where'd you park your
the dragon.
brooms?
the dragon.
We
Oh,
flew-
what about those invisible things that you can't see?
That's what I meant.
That might have been it. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what
Unless you saw someone die.
We flew through a thunderstorm in Texas
There
where
you-
it felt like the plane was gonna crash.
Oh, I remember
Okay.
you telling me about this.
It was
yeah.
terrible.
So
Should have
I'm,
flown on the brooms. It would have been
yeah,
safer.
should have been brooms.
I'm afraid to go down this rabbit hole, but I gotta know.
Oh God.
If the nerd to my left can quickly explain what Quidditch is in the movie, and then his backup nerd brain, if you could tell us what
Well,
it was actually
I
like.
have.
playing
You don't
the
need
game.
to. He's in my head already, so
All
I
right.
could probably explain from both perspectives.
All right. Well, you do the
But-
movie, and Brian's gonna
Yeah,
tell
I
us.
want
what
to
it
hear
is.
like how similar these things are.
All right, so Quidditch in the movie Harry Potter is a bunch of people flying around on brooms, and there's a seeker, there's a goaltender. I don't know what they call him.
Keeper.
A keeper, yes, and there's a seeker, a keeper, and then two
Beater and
beaters.
Leaker,
Two beaters, right?
Two beaters and then 3 chasers.
Chasers.
beaters, and
Blades.
3
All right, so
chasers.
the seeker has to
Lasers.
go after the snitch.
You used to be a beater when you were in high
Oh,
school.
I still beat.
okay.
I'm still a beater.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm still a
Okay,
beater.
so that is how many people altogether? is
There's
that? On
two,
each team.
4, 6.
okay
6, right?
6 or 7.
And they're
6 or
trying to
7.
throw something through those hoops, right?
Yeah, they got to
The
throw.
quaffle.
The quaffle is a thing that goes and there's the quaffle. What's the thing that bounces
Shout
around and
out
tries to
National
kill everybody?
Quaffle Day.
the bludgers.
The
is what the
bludgers.
beaters
So there's
use.
the beaters and the bludgers. So the bludgers are trying to knock everybody off their brooms. It just flies around.
So
and
there's
just-
defense. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
yeah.
Brutal defense.
Yeah, brutal defense. Like you
And
hit by that
then
thing. It
what are
doesn't
the-
kill you in the movie for some reason. I don't
What
know
are
why.
the
but-
offensive people called?
All right, so they're called chasers, I
Chasers.
think,
Yeah,
and they're also
chasers.
so the chasers want to try to get a hold of the quaffle, and they got to throw through the hoops. There's 3 hoops. There's looks like almost like Olympic hoops, without the other
Okay.
2. There's only 3 of them. There's 2 lower ones and a higher one. The keeper keeps those, and he stands in front blocks, and you get I think 10 points for the lower ones, or I don't know if it's the same.
this accurate?
And then like 20 for the
Yeah.
higher one.
And then the
And you have to
snitch,
get
right?
100
Talking about the snitch.
Yeah, and you have to get 120 points, I think, to win.
Well, that's how the game ends.
Yeah.
You hit the point
or
more?
or it automatically ends if one of the seekers catches the snitch.
Golden
before.
snitch.
The golden
So
snitch.
that's an automatic game winner. Doesn't matter how
automatic.
many points
Doesn't matter how many
the other team
points you
Usually, yeah.
automatically win.
has. Okay, so that's big
And
time.
that flies
nerd alert,
around.
But okay, thank
it
you.
flies around. It's a little golden ball. and has wings, and it flies around like a hummingbird
Right.
really quick.
Okay.
All
And then
right.
Brian, do you play this in real life?
Yes. So the big difference with all the players is they don't have a broom between their legs. You have basically everyone just picked up their beer at the same time. Sorry, that was
Yeah.
perfect. I had to point that out. But I'm already done with mine, by the way.
All
right, well,
there's more.
We saw his anticipation.
You know what
of
we're
this
doing
National
in our
Beer
break.
Day.
Anyway.
Yeah, totally. So you have PVC pipes.
Okay.
And they could be painted. But it's not PVC, but it's a pipe.
Yeah, sure.
That you have between your legs. And
This
Well,
is good.
yeah, that's like
just the
I'm-
beaters, or is this everybody?
Everybody.
I'm so
everybody.
used to that. I wouldn't. I've gotten accustomed to that myself.
So yeah,
personally,
so you have that, and if you get off your broom, you got to go back to your hoops, tap back in, and then you can get.
What?
Back
So
into
is it
play.
like
Okay.
kind of like field hockey-ish, or?
It's like handball, dodgeball, and like I don't even know how to describe.
So
it.
you're having this PVC pipe as a broom, but you
Yes.
have to like hold it like you're riding one of those horses.
Yes,
as
and
a
you
little
have to
kid?
run like back and forth. And then so basically the chasers are running the offense while the bludgers are trying to throw at the chasers at the same exact time.
They actually hit you in this game like
yes,
they do in the
yeah.
real
So
game?
the quaffle is a volleyball, and the bludger ball is like a kickball, and it's a little bit deflated.
That's pretty cool.
And then the keeper is kind of like, I don't want to say the captain, but they usually run the offense.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
they're good. If you're a keeper, you're usually going to be the best player. You're going to
sounds
score
like
the
a
most
fun
points.
game. We should
Oh,
get
wow.
a loosely related
Okay.
freaking Quidditch team.
I don't think we're going that
and
deep into
the,
it.
I think
Um,
that's the end of the podcast.
Yeah, and
That's
it was a
it.
nice 11 episodes with you
Yeah,
guys.
that's it.
The
All right.
Let's
funniest,
go upstairs and kill ourselves all together.
the funniest part is the snitch, though.
Okay, that's what I was
the
gonna ask.
snitch is a person.
Oh.
The snitch is a person that wears shorts and they have a ball attached to their back.
Oh
and
my
as a
god,
seeker,
I don't even want to know.
as a seeker, at the 15-minute mark, you get released, and you have to. Yeah, you have to pull the ball off the shorts from the back, but it's super hard. The seeker can literally push you. They can pull your broom out from under between your legs to make you go back to hoop.
Go back and reset.
The rules used to be the seeker could go wherever the fuck they wanted.
Wow.
So you could leave the pitch and go onto the train, the subway system, and take the subway system, and the seeker would have to follow you.
No way. That's
Well,
awesome.
They had to change the rules, I guess.
Really?
But
Wow.
that used to be. They used to bring
That
silly
seems a little
string,
crazy.
spray silly string in their faces.
I remember. Oh, it's awesome.
So let me ask you this.
I think it would be
just
fun. I like it. I want to do
just
it.
for
Next year we're having a
clarification.
fantasy Quidditch team.
in fact, we are not.
We'll do a fantasy
And
draft.
This is
for
totally
Quidditch.
false.
Don't worry. We're not going to have a fantasy draft camp. A fantasy Quidditch draft
But
camp.
later on, one of our sponsors, they may be looking for sports teams. so
USQ?
that could happen.
Maybe.
Yep, that's right. So
We'll start
if
practicing
I'm not
after the
mistaken,
podcast.
I just want to make summarize this one point. So there is something called a snitch. He wears some super little tight running shorts, and he has a ball attached to his rear end.
Yes.
And then you guys run after him. What are you guys called?
Seekers.
Seekers.
I wasn't
Seekers,
a seeker.
that
It's
makes sense.
hard. It's
Yeah.
like
So
one
then
of the
the
hardest things.
seeker-
to do.
Really fast.
Has a big pole between his legs and runs ferociously, like he's hungry for something.
Yes.
At the seeker's little ball on
Yes.
his backside.
Yes. But
should
yes.
see-
Yes.
You should
Listen,
see. You should see.
I'm
the-
not judging. I'm not judging
It's,
at
it's
all. You do what
suggestive.
you.
At the very least, it's suggestive.
You should
I
see
mean,
the.
beaters and seekers. I don't know.
If you think that's amazing, you should check out the Quidditch combines.
Quidditch combines.
Oh my
yeah.
God, is that for real too?
Yes.
No.
Oh my God. All right, so that was a little look into the Quidditch world. Kind of scary.
Yeah, it's interesting.
But,
it's
we'll
fun. I
get-
want to have a team, man.
Yeah, we might have
Yeah.
to talk about that a little later, and where you're going to
Definitely.
round
Make
up
a
this
community team, yeah.
You're just going to
Yeah.
walk around Newburgh and maybe
We
wrestle
only
up some
need.
fellas off the road.
We have 4. We only need 2 more players.
I don't know
Yeah.
what four you're talking
We'll
about.
get
I'm
Harry
not playing.
Potter.
We'll do a tryout.
What
That's all.
about
Yeah,
what about
totally.
this
Called
body
tryouts.
says running?
Anybody
Does
want
any
to
of
try
that
out
say
for our
running?
Quidditch
It might say
team?
beater though.
Yeah.
It might say beater.
Yeah.
They hear that, they might get the wrong idea, though.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, so anyways, back to what we were talking about earlier. We were talking about the Comedy Vault. We're going to go over those few movies we spoke about earlier. Then a little after, we have another little segment that I think we're going to call the Time Capsule. So basically, we're going to dig up phrases and words that were in vogue or in fashion when each of us were younger.
Yeah.
Well,
Well-
you're still younger, I guess.
Yeah, in
Yeah,
my
I
day, in
suppose.
my day, we were just developing communication.
Right.
You know,
That's
vocal
true.
Well, like one of
communication.
Dad's films, like, oh,
A popular word when I was young was beep, 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 beep. All right. So anyway, let's hit those movies real quick. So a few weeks ago, we talked about the movies, like we said earlier. We're going to start with just going in date order. So we'll start with the
Okay.
oldest to the newest. We talked about like Father Like Son. This stars Dudley Moore,
Right.
who's from what was that movie?
That
he
was my
famous
choice,
for?
wasn't
Right.
it? That was
Yes, it
Dudley
was.
Moore
Yep.
and
It was your choice.
He was-
Cameron.
I mean, he did music,
And,
he did movies and stuff, but he was mostly well known for those two Arthur movies.
Yeah,
Like
Arthur.
that's what I
yes.
remember him for.
Right.
Those
yeah.
were good movies too. I mentioned those in an episode
Right.
as well.
And Kirk Cameron's in this movie. I guess that made me a little nostalgic because it reminded me of Growing Pains. That was a big movie when I was younger, and he was super famous.
Yeah.
And actually, Sean Austin is in it, and that's why, if you notice, I always wear a themed shirt. I'm wearing the shirt of my favorite movies.
Nice.
That was a good
Because
movie.
just the year before this, 2 years before this, he was one of the main characters, Mikey,
That's
in
right,
The
yeah.
Goonies.
Yeah.
So there's that. All right. So this synopsis, real quick. Let's keep it brief. Essentially, the father swaps places. You've all seen movies like this, a la Vice Versa, 17 again, 18 again, Freaky Friday with Jodie Foster, and a remake with Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah.
So two people don't really understand each other. They end up with this elixir from a far off land from the silly friend played by Sean Austin, has like a crazy uncle from a reservation, and he gets this thing. So the father doesn't really appreciate the son. He's a busy, like, high-powered, like, cardiac surgeon.
Yeah,
The son
really,
is like
really
a
successful.
right, and the son's kind of a meandering high school student. He's not a bad student. He's just an okay student, but he doesn't know what he wants to do with his
Yeah.
life.
But he was big in sports though. Maybe
right,
track
he was a
star.
track. Yeah, he was kind of a track star. Okay,
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So anyway, so again, this was made in 1987. The IMDb score to today is a 5.2. So let's
And
go.
what was it?
A 5.2.
For that movie?
Yeah.
Really?
So
That's
let's
all?
go
I'm
around and
surprised.
just basically give us your thoughts. Does the movie hold up? Why or why not? What'd you like about it? What was good or bad? And you
All
want
right.
to start off?
Yeah,
John?
I'll start off. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, Rob. I had that. You gave me that assignment 3 weeks ago, and I did not watch any of the movies.
He did not.
Well, I have to
Well,
say
that's not true. We did watch.
Didn't
we
you
got-
say
no,
last?
no, I watched last
you were,
night.
I'm so prepared. That's you.
I'm so prepared.
Yeah, but
This
in
is the
this
same way
case,
he's
I
prepared
just-
for our fantasy football.
Exactly. This is the same way he prepares for every episode.
Well, I prepare for the. I did do a lot of fantasy football stuff in the past.
All
week.
right. So what? You have any thoughts? But
And that's
you've seen
probably
the
why I
movies
didn't
before.
watch the movies. But all of the movies, with the exception of one that you mentioned, Outside Providence.
That we did watch.
We watched that one last night, my
Yeah.
son and I. We waited till the very last moment
Last-
to watch the movie. I was up till 10:30 last night watching that movie.
What a late
Procrastination.
night.
Joey.
Usually it's
That
just
is
a
a late
little
night for
murder
me.
she wrote and then off to bed for him.
Yeah,
He
exactly.
really powered it up last
I'm
night.
usually in bed before 10:30. Maybe not on a Friday, but anyway, the other three movies, the Master of Disguise and Like Father, Like Son, and The Kid, I've seen multiple times.
Okay.
So I know those movies
You
by
watched
heart
Master of
pretty
Disguise
much.
multiple times.
Multiple times.
Well, maybe not
This
multiple
really
times.
tells me
I
about
haven't.
the sickness of you.
I think the premise
I'm
of
sorry, I don't want to blow that load already, Beater. Let's move back to like Father,
So-
Like Son.
All right, so like Father Like Son, I can watch that movie anytime. I think that movie's so funny. My wife and I saw it for the first time. We were just hysterical laughing throughout the whole thing.
Did
I
you
think
guys see it
it's
in theater, you and your wife, or
Huh?
did your wife and you? Because you guys were
We
pretty
saw it
young
in the
still,
movies,
right?
I think, originally, and I know my wife would probably correct me, saying, "No, Joe, we saw it." But back then we didn't. I don't.
You
when
didn't
did
have
that movie
kids
come
yet,
out?
right? 87.
No. Yeah. So, well, no, we didn't have any kids.
Right,
No.
so that's kind of nostalgic, right? You're newly married, probably.
Yeah, and we probably did see it in the
It's
movie.
nice.
Yeah.
We saw it in the movie, and we loved it. Me and my wife loved it. I think personally that movie's transcendent. I think it goes. You can watch
Did you
it.
just use transcendent
Transcendent.
for this
to
movie?
describe
It transcends-
Like Father,
Okay.
Like Son.
It transcends time.
Well,
and
they
it-
did transcend each other's bodies. I mean,
I guess
that's
literally
true.
speaking.
Yeah, so it's transcendent in the sense that you could probably watch it today, and it's. I mean, I haven't seen it in a while. At least I didn't watch it as part of my freaking
Okay.
assignment. But I know
watched
I could
it
go
in
upstairs and watch
1987
it.
with my wife, and that was the last
No,
time.
we've watched it, and we've shown the kids when they grew up. We've showed it to them, so we've watched it multiple times. I love that movie.
So you would still watch it?
Yes,
So
absolutely.
you still like it?
Yeah.
Do you think that 5.2 is worthy? or
No,
should
I
get
think
higher?
it should be higher than
All
that.
Yeah,
right.
I was shocked to see that.
I'm very
I was
shocked
Yeah,
that it's
definitely.
5.2. I
It's
think
not. It's not the
very
world's
funny.
It
greatest
does have
movie,
those
but
80 cliches, like the best
that's what I
friend
was
who's
gonna
just
say.
always awkwardly at the guy's house. Like nobody invited them. They're having a private conversation, and all of a sudden the friend's
Yeah.
just in there. My dad would have been like, "You don't even knock, you piece of crap. Get the hell
you
out of my
actually-
house."
So you actually are the only one.
They
who
wouldn't be
actually,
doing that.
You're the only one who actually watched all the movies.
I sure did.
You watched all of them.
I did
He's
not.
prepared for the
one
show,
of them
at
I didn't
least.
watch completely. But Brian, what do you think?
About Like Father, Like Son.
Yeah.
I think.
Did you watch them, Brian? Did you watch the movie?
This is the only one that I could not find online.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
I
all
went
right.
through all
But
the
you've seen it
streaming
before.
sites I knew, and
Yeah.
they were just like, "No, I'm all right. I don't
I
want
had
this
it
movie."
downloaded.
Yeah.
Can I watch it for free on
Yeah,
Sony
we-
View?
True.
VUE. I saw it there.
But
Showbox HD, bro.
yeah, so I think with
right.
with these movies is a lot of times what happens is at the time it doesn't seem like these characters may be stereotypes, but then what happens is when this plot comes out and people beat this to death, like
Yeah.
all these movies like Freaky Friday and stuff. happen. You know, it does kind of make it, as time goes on, it becomes dated, and I think that's kind of what happened with the IMDb scores and everything like that.
That's a good point. It's a very good point. Yeah, that's true. I would like to know what the IMDb score was when it came out in 1987.
Exactly. Yeah.
Was there even
exactly.
IMDb in 1987?
I don't know. Maybe.
No, there wasn't. 'Cause there wasn't even an internet. In
Okay, so the reason I used IMDb, right? We could look at different things in the 80s. When I see it, I just did it because
It's user.
it had all of them, and they were user aggregates.
Yeah.
Not I don't care about what the technically.
Well, that's the perfect example. This is
and it continues to be seen, so people continue to rate it, which is interesting. And it had all of our movies were on IMDb.
exactly. Yeah, true.
It's the most consistent. Like.
Yeah. And I don't mean to like redirect it, but you just reminded me of something real quick. And I hate to do this, but it's funny. Like I like IMDb for that reason, right? It's a user aggregate score, and it's usually crazy amounts of people vote on it. Like I remember like if you go on their top 10, like it's like Shawshank Redemption has like 57,000 votes. That's a pretty decent sample size from statistics.
Correct.
We learned about that.
What kind of variation do you think that is?
I think it's right. But anyway, it's funny.
Confidence level?
Because like the critics sometimes it's like, okay, you completely missed the ball. The critics, you completely missed what the movie was about, or you got too hung up on your agenda. And I think the perfect example of that right now is I don't know if you guys watched it. So my favorite stand-up comedian is Dave Chappelle. Me and Rob were talking about it recently. His recent special.
Stop hitting the mic stand.
I know, my bad. His recent special just came out on Netflix. Sticks and Stones.
Yeah, I hear it kind of had some controversy.
It had some controversial things. I mean, it's Dave Chappelle. Everyone knows what you're getting into with him. I don't think it was as controversial as he said. He definitely, even on like at certain moments, I kind of cringe a little bit. It's funny, and it is. But the thing is, he always explains himself. And the problem is the critics only focus on the bad thing he said, and they don't talk about the fact that he always goes ahead and says, like, listen, I love everybody. I love all you people. I love, whatever. The point is that right now on Rotten Tomatoes, you go on and look it up. I thought it was a great special overall. It has a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes right now. Zero.
For what?
0%.
With reviews?
With reviews on Rotten
That's
Tomatoes.
hard to believe.
The critic reviews, right? Okay, so now this is what happened. They only allowed 5 critics to review Dave Chappelle's new special. They were all, were super progressive critics, and that's fine, whatever. It's no problem as long as you can be. I don't care what your political affiliation is, as long as you can at least be objective when you're giving your review on something. You should be reviewing it on quality. It is. I guess you just can't, and that's fine, whatever. The point is that they did not do that, and they all hated it, and they gave it a 0%. Yeah. So then Rotten Tomatoes opened it up to the users. They opened it up to user reviews, and it has a 0%. And last I checked, it has a 99% on Rotten Tomatoes now for user
opposite.
Score. And of course, there's that argument where it's like, oh well, all the people who get mad about it giving it 0, even if they didn't watch it, they're going to do it. But still, the point is that I know that a lot of people liked it. I heard a lot of great audience members liked it a lot. It's just I don't know. That's why I like IMDb. I didn't mean to go off on the whole tangent.
No. That's all right. That's all right.
That was good. Let me actually ask you guys a question now that you talk about IMDb.
Yeah.
So when I look at like for movies, you're looking like Brian was just saying a little while ago, you're going to all the usual sites for streaming or whatever, however you do.
Yeah.
Pirate Bay.
And
.org.
Oh my lord.
Not sponsored.
Definitely not sponsored.
Now they're getting
Not sponsored.
Anyway, I kind of go. You see the IMDb score. There's the 2 other ones.
Metacritic is a big one.
Metacritic.
I use that one.
IMDb,
Metacritic,
and Rotten Tomatoes are 3 big ones.
Okay,
Yeah,
so there
probably,
it is. So you kind of see them up top. What in your head do you have like a locked number? Like if you haven't seen a movie, you don't know. If the IMDb has this number, you'll watch the movie.
Yes.
I have.
Yeah. If it's
What
over
is it for you?
I have one for each
IMDb
one of those sites.
is usually rated by like 8 points, whatever, 7 point, whatever. If it's over 7, usually I'll
watch it. What about you, Brian?
So I mean, I usually do Rotten Tomatoes, but I know like if on IMDb it usually has like a 6 or above, I'll watch it. What I will say about IMDb is IMDb Pro. I would use that for when I interned at a production company. How we would find, like, if they wanted a list of producers or actors, I would go to IMDb Pro to find their contact information for their agents.
Oh,
so
wow.
it's really good for that. I know,
that's awesome.
I'm pretty sure
Not
that
sponsored.
production companies
Very
use
cool.
that.
Joey, what's your number?
Well, I can tell you right now, I have one. So after all that shit I just talked, I still love critic reviews in general, but that's why I like these aggregate
Hey,
sites.
take everything into account.
Because I do love there are a lot of great critics that I like, and I love movies, and I like to see a good review. So I have a number for all three. I mean, on IMDb, if it's an 8 or higher, I'm definitely going to see that movie for sure. If it comes out, it got an 8, I'm going to see it. On Metacritic, if it's a 75 or higher, I'm there. I'm going to see that movie, 100%. And on Rotten Tomatoes, if it's a 90 or above, I'm going to see that movie. That's just that's what it is.
Sounds like you're not going to watch Like Father, Like Son.
Well, no,
So the
I mean,
thing for me
I'm
for
just talking about the
IMDb,
movies.
6.2. I don't know what it is. That's my
Yeah.
sweet spot. If
Yeah.
it's a
Really?
6.2 and I'm not sure, I'm not bored and whatever.
Yeah. Give it a
Unless
shot.
somebody specifically says, "Hey, you should check this movie out." Like in this case, like Father Like Son was only a 5.2.
Yeah. Right.
And I was like, "Yeah, I wonder if it."
What
is
did you
it a
think of
5.2?
it? Did you say?
I like the nostalgia of the 80s. There's too many movies that do the same exact thing that have probably done it a little bit better.
Yeah.
Kinda
But
remember
because
when it
of
was
who
done,
was
though.
in, right? Because vice versa. 1988, Judge Reinhold, Fred Savage, same movie basically.
Yeah.
18 Again, Charlie Schlatter, George Burns,
Freaky Friday.
Freaky Friday, both of them
Well, that
with
was
Jodie
50s,
Foster,
right?
70s, 77,
was the original one. With
and then a
70s?
remake in 2003 with Lindsay
Lohan.
Lohan,
And then the song.
and Jamie
was
Lee
hot.
Curtis. So she was.
Although I hope she
pretty
wasn't
back in the day.
I really hope she was over 18.
Well,
Anyway,
you don't. We're not saying
Brian,
in
you may
that
have to
year.
cut that part out. I don't want to be gross about that. I hate
So,
when that
no,
fucking
she was
happens
pretty.
too. Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
Okay, so anyways, next movie, Outside Providence. This stars Sean Hattasey, Amy Smart, and I'm just gonna mention these other people, even though I didn't do it for a lot of the other movies, because one of the things I liked most about this movie was the supporting cast. They had
Yes.
Alec Baldwin as the father.
I was so shocked
He
to see
played
that.
it so
Rob.
good.
Yeah.
Jonathan
Alec Baldwin
Brandis,
is very
who was
good.
the friend Mousy. I don't know if you guys remember Brandis. He's a big star when he was a young
In
kid.
He was in It.
Yeah, and
Right?
he committed suicide, which was very sad.
He did commit suicide?
Yeah, he did.
He was a great actor.
Yeah, he was
man.
good. He had like a big future. Friends with Steven Spielberg at a young age. It was
Yeah.
very strange.
Yeah.
He was supposed to have this huge career, and he committed suicide, which was sad. Anyway, and George Wendt from Cheers fame.
Yeah.
And this was rated. This was made in '99. Was rated a 6.4, so just above my sweet spot.
Yeah.
And I think this, even though I don't say nostalgia in the fact that it wasn't the '80s, but this is like where Brian and Joey are now, where they really are interested in movies and more than just the movie, even knowing like who the director is and following like who the producer is, but more about the screenplay and knowing about directors. That's how I felt when these movies came out. And I guess I think in '99 I was 18 years old. This was a Miramax / Farley Brothers from Something About Mary fame.
Yeah.
Anyway, I know a lot of people will say, too many fart and dick jokes, and I get it.
There's a
You
good
can
amount.
absolutely feel that
Good
way.
amount, yeah.
So the synopsis is basically, after one too many instances of a major infraction, finds Tim Dildo Dumphy split from his thickened accent Pawtucket, Rhode Island friends during the late 70s. Instead of jail, he finds himself at a prestigious prep school in Cornwall known as Cornhill Academy. So, my basic take real quick is just that why not every joke lands, for sure it does not.
Yeah.
The most surprising part...
Wait. Breaking news.
What happened?
Breaking news. Fantasy football. The Raiders have released Antonio Brown.
After all that?
Wait.
Are you serious?
That
Yes.
actually is. I'm actually
Wait,
really
what?
glad you interrupted that.
That's great.
I had to interrupt.
Oh my
I'm
God,
sorry.
that
We
actually
just have
is.
a whole thing how we were
Wait a
just saying I was
minute,
going
that
to play
literally-
on Monday.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We'll go back to it, but
That
I
actually
just got a
is. We
gotta
sleeper
talk about that.
notification.
No,
Antonio
Brian, can you
Brown.
look that up while we're talking
Yeah.
about this?
Holy shit! I'm glad you
That's
interrupted.
insane.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh
That's
my
what it says on
God,
Sleeper.
After all that, you know what?
Breaking
Maybe
news.
That
Everybody
did
happened
it live.
live on our podcast, bro.
Yeah.
High five to that. Live on our podcast. That happened. That's
So
awesome.
I'm
Holy
wondering. Let's
shit.
just take the quick hot take on it. Maybe everybody was supportive on the field because of the skills, but at the end of the day, CEO was like, "Lick it. I don't care. I own the team. Goodbye."
Yeah.
Maybe that was it. Maybe he just
Wow,
thought this
after
was
all
fake.
of that.
There was one little minor controversy even after the apology. I forgot what it was. I
So
saw
there was
a little
something with
blip.
John Gruden. So now I saw something where it was like him and John Gruden had a phone conversation, and I was reading it to my friends last night, and it was something like, "Listen, Antonio." Like John Gruden was like nice about it. He was like, "Listen, do you want to be? At the end of the day, it comes down to this: do you want to be an Oakland Raider or not?" And
Oh
Antonio
yeah,
Brown,
the conversation,
the conversation
recorded
on the phone. It was recorded.
Yeah, I heard
Antonio
that. I
Brown was like
listened to it, right.
cursing and stuff like that, and he was like, "Bro, it's not about me being an effing Raider. I've been working my
Since
ass
day
off
one
harder
or
than
whatever,
anyone
yeah.
else since day one." It's like you literally wouldn't play at training camp because you had a helmet issue.
helmet problem.
Are you insane? And you think you work harder than Derek Carr? No.
It seems like
What
what
do you got?
happened was as soon as he started taking it to social media, they were
What
kind
else
of
is new?
forced to release him.
So what does it say, Brian?
So it's
I wonder if he had an actual.
it says that he
fraction.
he had the argument with the GM, right?
Yeah, Mike Mayock.
Mayock, yeah. It was in part over his foot injury. And then he posted a message on Instagram Saturday. He posted a message on Instagram Saturday,
Okay.
where he called on the Raiders to release him. It was something like, this is what he posted. You're gonna piss off. You are gonna piss a lot of people off when you start doing what's best for you. And then
This is Antonio Brown saying this.
yeah, and the description said, and that's fine. I have worked my whole life to prove that the system is blind to see talent like mine. Now that
Bullshit.
everyone sees it, if they want me to conform to the same system that has failed me all those years. I'm not mad at anyone. I'm just asking for the freedom to prove them all wrong. Release me at Raiders. Hashtag no more.
That is crazy.
He probably thought they were never going to do it.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And they did.
So
Yeah.
then after
Now,
that,
I
I
don't
guess
know
they
if-
were like, we have to.
I don't know if I
Like,
should pick up freaking the guy from. I'm going to pick up the.
That
wide
actually is a
receiver.
really big deal.
That's
Like,
wild, man. That's not. It is
I
wild.
think
They-
Rob
they
just
just
picked
paid
him
him-
up. Did you just pick him up?
Who?
The wide
The
receiver.
backup? No, I didn't.
Winfro.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I'm not interested.
Now, Rob was texting Antonio Brown like, "Bro, what's good?"
Wow.
He's following me on
Holy
Twitter.
Yeah, exactly.
Antonio Brown, now that you have more time, check us out on
We should get him as a guest.
podcast.
Please.
We're gonna have him on as a guest.
We're on YouTube.
We're not having him on as a guest because
We'd
we'll
love
end
to
up
hear
having
your
to
viewpoint.
cut him. We'll have to cut him or
We'll have
release
to
him.
cut him,
We'll have to
release him.
release
He's
him on
gonna
the
talk
Yeah, we'll
shit.
podcast.
cut him after we release that.
He's gonna
Yeah.
call us all crackers, like he called
Crackers,
Mike
yes.
Mayock.
We're all crackers
So Brian,
here,
in case I don't know if you know, the reason why he was like got in trouble, he called the guy Mike Mayock, who's the GM. He called him a cracker.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's how you
Called
get
his
I gotta
boss a
say, dude,
cracker.
I love crackers and cheese.
In no other
do.
profession would you be allowed to do that.
That's what I'm saying. We were just talking about that before the podcast. It's just nuts.
Well,
I
we'll
can't.
have to return to
Well,
that.
that's crazy.
That's pretty insane.
It
Well-
sucks that you interrupted Rob's segment, but that's
No,
crazy.
That's all right.
Actually
You know what? I
nuts.
think we should go to a break so we can just take this in and we'll come back after.
That's a
Unless
good
it's
idea.
from
the
That's,
Wisconsin
a good, that's a
segment.
good call.
All right,
Good
we'll
call.
see you after the break, guys.
All right.
Bye.
And now a word from our sponsors. First time. Are you just living inside your parents' basement that you call an apartment and wondering why none of those ladies are calling you back? When you're talking to a girl, are you constantly worried that one of your friends is going to tell her that your roommates, Jim and Diane, are your parents? Then stop procrastinating and change your life. In the time it takes most people to take a small bowel movement, you could already be on your way to a brand new life. That's right. Get started now at Loosely Related University. All you have to do is call 1-800-YOU-DUMB or 1-800-968-3862. Right now, you can be on the cutting edge of technology. We are currently offering technology courses in the following disciplines. Number 1, typewriter key replacement. Obviously, everyone needs that in their life.
That's important.
2, phone booth repair technician. Very, very important. 3, Palm Pilot software engineer. This was my minor in college. 4, paper edge remover from dot matrix printers. Who the fuck doesn't need that? 5, phone book delivery. With our robust programs, you don't have to choose which technology will still be relevant. Betamax and VCR repair technician, we need some of that. 8-track, Walkman, Discman, hell, even Laserdisc will do it. It doesn't just end with technology either. Next semester, we're kicking off with our brand new arts and crafts department.
Yes!
You will be up to your elbow in dry macaroni. Make your own frames. Make the classiest work of art even more stunning. I don't give a shit. Glue sticks, hot glue guns, stencils, pastels, watercolor, paint by the numbers. You do not want to be left out in today's modern society with so much competition, let me tell you. You need Loosely Related University. Do not wait to call 1-800-YOU-DUMB. That's 1-800-968-3862. Now back to our show.
And we're back for that breaking news clip from Joe, man. I just can't believe it, man.
No, that's
I
crazy.
can't. There'll be all kinds of speculation. I don't want to go on it too much. Just one real quick question, and we'll get back to our movies. Do you think anyone will just hop on him immediately and pick him up
Someone
In fantasy?
said,
Or no, I'm sorry.
in like real NFL?
No, that someone said
In like Disney fantasy, I meant. Well, like Disney.
Well, maybe.
Like, will Disney pick him up and
they might
make him a
Disney,
character?
Disney full action movie.
Yeah.
About,
That'd be one of Cinderella's nasty stepsisters.
Yeah, exactly.
They,
But do you think another team can they just pick
he
him
might go
up,
back
or-
to the Steelers.
No
Really?
way.
He
Do
might
you
go
like
back to the
that's
Steelers.
speculation, or that you would
Somebody
say?
made that comment, and to me, I was like, he said
No,
that
I don't
he's
see
going to
it.
go back to the Steelers after helping them get all those extra draft picks.
I know who's going to pick him up. I can guarantee you right now. The fucking Jets are going to pick him up.
Yeah, probably.
You know why? Because
They're
they got
picking up all
Le'Veon
of them?
Bell.
They're
They're
Because they
picking
don't
up all
care.
the. They want to be Pittsburgh
Le'Veon Bell.
5
They
years
need
ago.
whatever they can get.
All right, guys. We'll
Yeah,
get
that's not
back-
even.
okay.
let's go.
Yeah.
We're hopping back into outside Providence. It's just what a whirlwind today.
Whirlwind.
So my quick take again. We said the language is definitely coarse. Not every joke lands, but to me the most surprising part of this movie, I really found it that it was funny and it still delivered on serious subjects, but in an honest way.
Yeah.
It does take place in the late 70s. The father is a single father. The wife had died, so I don't want to ruin too much. I would recommend the movie, but they talk about homosexuality, drug use, friendship, first loves, and even death of a loved one, all while never abusing our emotional heartstrings. I have to say, it delivers balancing funny with honest and heartfelt. Highlights to me include, like I said, the supporting cast, the amount of quotable lines in it, and that's pretty much my take on it. I would recommend it. I wouldn't say it's outstanding, but I still give it like a 7.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it's a good movie. Joe?
Okay.
I love what's his name there? Alec Baldwin.
Yeah,
He's my second favorite. He's my second favorite host of the Saturday Night Live after Justin Timberlake. I think he's really
Sweaty
funny.
balls.
He's
Sweaty
great.
balls. He's great. I like him. I think he's a great actor, a character actor. The movie itself, I watched it, like I said, last night for the first time in my life with my son Joey in his bedroom, watching on the big screen, and it's probably the last time I'll ever watch it.
Okay.
I'm very disappointed that it's a 6.4 versus my 5.2 on Like Father, Like Son, because I thought Like Father, Like Son was much better.
Okay, so
But-
if you were going to give a rating, what would you give?
I would probably give it like a 4.
Okay, and what were what didn't you like about it?
Well, I can tell you the one thing I loved about it, and I probably will invest in this, is the soundtrack. Soundtrack's amazing. I love the soundtrack of the movie. If I had to
did.
give a
You were saying all
soundtrack
the
score,
songs.
I'd give it a 9.5.
So
Yeah.
these were probably music that you liked.
Yeah, it was all 70s, 80s type
Yeah.
music. It was It was
All
it was
70s.
shot.
It's all
It was all
77,
70s.
It was
78,
made
yeah.
in 91. The movie, I think.
99.
99. And
the music's
the
all
music's
from
from
the
the
late
70s.
Yeah.
And it's great music. And
generation.
it's not my generation necessarily, because I was born in 63. So it's more like the mid-70s to the mid-80s when my music generation is.
So
More like
that's
the
late
Cars
70s.
and Cheap Trick and
That's
That's
right in
right.
there.
Rolling
He always
Stones,
says
all
this all the time. I'm always like, I don't think that's necessarily because I think your generation, when you become a teenager. I mean, now this is just my personal
before
opinion.
being a teenager,
I
I'd
would
say
say
from
when you
the-
become a teenager, it starts
Yeah.
like your generation.
Well, when I was a little
starts.
kid, I remember Captain Tennille. The things that I remember when I was a kid going to
Captain
the
Tennille.
shore, Captain
Yeah.
Tennille.
And then there was that one guy who
Cher.
played the didgeridoo, like you know.
Yeah,
it
the
was like-
didgeridoo,
like
and
one
I
of-
used
it
to
was one
play
of the
that
first intros.
slide.
That guy wouldn't,
slide
he wouldn't
thing.
let it go, baby. He
was
was
got
on
it.
it.
That thing, remember?
Yeah.
They would just play those things that you get at a party favor. Woo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would do that
Yeah,
all the
exactly.
time. I
That
still
was
do
one of
that now.
I can't even make that. I can make sound effects as well as I can draw.
Rob's
shit.
Rob's tone deaf when
I'm
it
like,
comes to party whistles.
woo.
Well-
I looked like I was smoking marijuana. I'm like, do I play this? Woo.
Somebody get Rob a soundboard.
I know.
Yeah,
I need
exactly.
something. All right. So
yeah,
you didn't. like it.
I thought the movie. We were talking about it. Would it hold up today? I don't know if people. I think it would be protested if it was.
Right, but I think that's the whole point. I think it was true to how guys were kind of gruff in that day and age.
Yeah. No, kind of. I
Because
guess
the
it holds
father
true
was
to the
definitely a
70s.
baby, but he was definitely a 50s
They were
person.
definitely homophobes back then.
They were, but if you
Um,
see at the end, they conclude
I didn't see
that
the end. I
relationship.
gave up
So that
like
was the
burn.
part.
the
Yeah,
last
there you
maybe
go.
half
How
an hour
ironic
of the
is
show.
that?
I think.
But
I quit on
I
it.
like how they dealt with sincerity. I'm not saying they were all perfect. By far, they weren't. That's you call your son a dildo.
Yeah,
what do you-
literally.
Hey,
Did you s-
dildo.
Did you see it, Brian?
Yes, I did.
All right, Brian. What did you think?
So what I found actually was it came out in the 90s, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it felt a lot inspired by the what I learned was the term was animal comedy movies of the 70s and 80s, late 70s, early 80s. It has like the kind of the youth subjects of like drinking, pot smoking,
Right, drugs.
drugs, stuff like that. Like sexuality. The main character Tim, he has the relationship with the girl at the college, or at the I should say the high school. And it felt a lot like inspired by that. It also had there's like usually a figure that which is I forgot the guy, it starts with an F, the guy who was like really on him trying to like
Thunderbird.
yeah,
Or
that
Thunder
guy's name.
some-
Yeah,
Thunderfucker. I don't know.
something bird. Yeah.
Yeah.
That guy. His figure is very much present in like the animal comedies. Like if you look at Animal House, with the Dean, and then with what is it? Porky's.
Yeah,
There's
Porky.
there's the gym
Yeah,
teacher.
it
Strict.
definitely fits in those
Yeah.
genres of movies.
So
tight.
it kind of reminded me of those, and I don't know. I kind of like those movies.
Yeah?
But with Outside Providence, it was funny. Like I got into it, and I was like, all right, I was like, for the first 10 minutes, I was like, I'm not going to be able to get through this.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it just started picking up, and I kind of got into it. So
Yeah, same for
I'm
me.
around a 6 or a 7.
Okay, yeah, that's
So
right.
you thought the beginning was a little bit slow and then it picked up for you.
I think it was mostly like, I don't know. There was just something about it that like I didn't think I would really find it funny. I thought the comedy was going to
Okay.
be outdated. It was going to be slow.
Same for me.
But I don't know.
Thunderberg. That's his name.
When we got introduced a little bit more to Drugs Delaney,
Oh
When
my,
he reads that
bro! Me and Brian had the
letter,
same synopsis.
the
'cause
letter
I
is
was
the
this-
funniest
Dad,
part.
how much did I love the guy Drugs? I kept saying that guy Drugs is
Yeah, he was
hilarious.
funny. He
Drugs
was funny.
Delaney was the
I
character's
actually
name.
liked him. That was
he
a
was
funny
hilarious.
skit when the guy was reading the
Yeah,
letter.
You guys might not.
While the guy was
I don't know.
acting
If,
it out.
I have a weird memory for movies. I just remember every person I see. So that guy who played Drugs, he was in the very first Scary Movie. He was in
Oh,
Scary
okay.
Movie 1. He
Oh, yeah,
played
yeah. He
Anna
has short hair
Faris's
in it,
boyfriend.
right.
Oh,
that's why I remembered him. I
Yeah, he's been
recognized
in a
his
few
face.
movies.
Yeah.
Yes, dude, and he was so funny in that. And he was funny in this too. He was hilarious. Yeah, no, I so then I assume it's my turn. I'll take over.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, no. So for me, I was the same way as Brian. When it first started off, it was a little bit slow. I was very shocked to see Alec Baldwin in it. When he gets to Cornwall University, that's when it started to kind of pick up a little bit, and you definitely saw some funny stuff happen. There was some little plot holes because I'm so anal with movies that when it comes to like plot holes, I can't get over them. Like it's so funny. I keep getting hung up on this one thing. He goes to the Jets game and he sneaks back home to go see the Jets with his brother, and then he's going to hitchhike home, and it just so happens that Amy Smart's family sees him standing
bring
there,
him back to
and they
college,
pick
right?
him up, and they're like, "Oh, you know our daughter. You have already seen her and met her. You have the hots
it's
for her."
convenient.
And we're ironically driving back to that. Like for me, a plot hole, I literally cannot let go of it. It's
Right,
the worst
yeah,
thing
yeah,
ever.
yeah, yeah.
But besides that, it was a good movie. I do know how it ends. We watched the full hour of it, then we turned it off. But
And then you gave me the
no,
synopsis
it was
for
good.
how
I
it
gave
ends, I think.
synopsis. I think it's nice. So the way that it ends, it obviously must have what I would assume to be a really profound ending. When I guess he goes to Brown and he sort of petitions to Brown University on behalf of his
'Cause he gets
girlfriend
in
because
trouble, right?
she gets caught with marijuana and it all works out. And then he wants to go
Well,
to
don't
college
tell them the end in
himself.
case people want to see it.
Well, either way, the
Yeah,
point is that
listen, I'd
I would give it
definitely
probably like a 6.5. I think I would give
That's
it.
good.
I thought it was a good movie, and here's the thing: I really do like the guy who played him. I've seen him in other things, but he never really exploded after that. I never.
yeah, I don't
that
think
was
it
the
was-
first time I had ever seen that actor in like a main role.
Yeah,
like
I've seen him a couple times too,
you
but
know?
I can't. Sean Hadassah. Yeah, I don't even.
He was in Dexter.
Yeah, I don't even remember who he was in that.
Yeah, in season 5.
No.
Yep.
oh.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
There you go.
So I think mostly favorable reviews, and again, it may be generational. The one thing that obviously Joe liked was the music,
Yeah,
which
the
was
music was
generationally more your
Yeah.
area.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, moving on. Next recommendation was from Joey. Sorry.
Joey.
Disney's The Kids. That
Disney's
stars
The
Bruce Willis,
Kid.
Spencer Breslin. This had some people too. Emily Mortimer and Lily Tomlin, which to me, she was probably the highlight, but I'll hold off on that.
Yeah.
So synopsis real quick. Bruce Willis is a successful but severely jaded image consultant. He basically makes a living by spinning people's personalities, working with politicians and stuff like that to create the ideal image for them. But he himself obviously doesn't have an image. It's almost like
He's a bad person, basically.
not just even bad. He's
I
kind of
wouldn't
just-
dead inside.
Yeah, he's incredibly self-centered for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Self-centered, but he's kind of like two-dimensional. He's just
Yeah.
a poster. He
Yep.
has no depth whatsoever.
Yeah.
Everything is face value with him.
He's obsessed with his image, obviously.
right.
Like,
This is
yeah.
what you get. This
Yeah.
is what you pay for. He's
Right.
very upfront. Honestly, if you think about it, it's pretty transparent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wouldn't say he's a good person. But of course, then you feel for him because you get something happens. I don't want to give it all away, but some kind of silliness of a chain of events.
Yeah.
The man who plays Rusty, adult Bruce Willis, meets Rusty, 8-year-old version of him.
Yeah.
So as a kid. And it's played a lot of times for comedy, but mostly to find out how it all went wrong for Russ, what happened in his upbringing, et cetera, et cetera. Not much to talk about there. I'll pass it along. What you think?
Okay. Dad.
It's a heartfelt
Hey,
family
Dad,
type.
did you watch this one?
I don't have to. I've seen this
Oh,
movie. I
no,
like this
I'm just-
movie.
I'm
I
just-
do
I'm
like
just
it.
messing with
It
you.
was one of your favorites. I think when you were a kid, right?
Yeah.
Were you
Ironically-
Disney's the kid or just a kid?
I was Disney's The
Ironically.
Kid. It's based loosely based on my life.
Yeah, so loosely related on Joey. So yeah, I enjoyed the movie. It gets a little contrived, I think, and it's in certain places, and but overall, I think it's a fun movie to watch. It's a family type movie, and it's about the interactions, like you said, between Rush, the young Rush, and the old Rush, and how he sees
Russ.
himself. Russ, as he sees himself when he's a kid, and he starts to realize where the problem was, and he finally comes to the realization where all of his inside problems are coming from, and it's just a cute movie. I enjoyed it. They gave it a 6.1, like you said.
Yeah, I was gonna.
That's
ask
about
if
right.
that would-
That's about it, right?
So you
Brandon,
think
I
it's pretty accurate?
Yeah, I think that's actually.
I mean, so you
pretty
watched
accurate.
it more than once. You
I have
liked it.
watched it more than once, and I would
Yeah.
always watch it again. Like I said, there's just some silly little things in it. You could almost tell like it's almost improv at certain points with Bruce Willis, with the sort of the interactions between the two of them. But
I'm fine with that.
I
Yeah, no.
understand the
It's improv.
move for him, right? I mean, he's the tough guy action. I think
Yeah.
all of them eventually do some kind of soft, heartfelt.
Yep.
Like even when what's his
Nick
name?
Cage did it.
Nick Cage did it. Well, he's done a range of stuff. But even like people are only known for action. Like what's his name from?
What was
the Triple X Xander crap?
Oh, Vin Diesel.
Right, he had the babysitter.
Yeah.
They all do
Forgot
this.
about that.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan did the nanny or the mama,
Yeah.
whatever it
Yeah,
was.
and-
Sylvester Stallone, was he? What did he?
They all did one of these.
and so Arnold
did something
Schwarzenegger
weird.
did the Christmas movie,
Oh, yeah.
Jingle All the Way.
Jingle All the Way.
The best part of that is all that snazzy, what's his name's outfits, that comedian from back.
So it's funny you mentioned Arnold Schwarzenegger. Do you know what movie I was going to pick instead of the kid if I couldn't have chosen the kid? Like, remember I was saying if Rob doesn't want this one, I was going to pick another one? I was going to pick Last Action Hero.
Oh,
Remember
I-
Last
I
Action
vaguely
Hero with
remember
Arnold
that.
Schwarzenegger?
that was
I
a
don't
fun
remember all
movie.
that.
That's
I
a
love that
fun
movie.
Yeah, right?
That's
Maybe
a
I'll
really
have to go
that's a
dip my
that's a
toes in
good
that one.
movie.
That's what I was going to choose.
All right.
I'm
Brian.
not doing movies again, so we're not assigning movies.
Well,
for the next
you're
year.
not.
I'll just watch.
We
them.
already know you're not.
I'm not
That doesn't
doing
mean
them.
that we're not.
I don't
Right.
want homework assignments.
Okay.
All right.
But no, wait. But the other thing I wanted
Oh,
to mention
all
is
right.
that
Some deep cuts here.
we were talking about. All right, we'll just move on. I can't think of it. Forget it.
Let your backup
it-
brain be your brain.
Yeah.
So my thoughts on the kid.
Oh no! Wait, hold on. Where Bruce Willis first came from,
Here
I
we
used to hate him as an actor. I hated him because they used to have a TV show when he first started
Moonlighting.
his career. Moonlighting. He had a show, and the thing was
Sybil
about him being
Shepherd.
a private detective with Sybil Shepherd in his show, and the
was
show was actually
beautiful
good.
back then, remember
but
that?
the thing that ruined that show, and I hated him, and I hated him as an actor because they would constantly. In that show, he would constantly look at the camera and make comments about what was going on in the
breaking the fourth wall.
breaking the fourth wall. Yeah,
Even
okay.
out.
I just learned something new. I don't know
They
what
do that in every
means.
show nowadays.
But he'd be breaking the fourth wall, and I'm like, why are they doing that? It's
But
actually
that's
good.
not
Now, why are you
him.
breaking
That
the
was
fourth?
that was how it was written.
Yeah, I know, but it was
She's
just
like,
I-
everyone shut up. I'm Bruce
God,
Willis. I'll
that's
break
like
the fourth wall.
Is that not like that's like
it's
common
kind of like
protocol nowadays?
kind of like what they did in Deadpool. Like they do it in Deadpool.
They
all
do
the
it in
time.
every TV
that
show
movie
now.
was. I'm sorry, that show was pretty old. He still had hair back then.
Yeah,
I remember that he
did.
still had hair.
Yeah, he
and
did.
Sybil Shepherd was
Hot, yeah.
very beautiful.
Yeah,
back
she
then.
was. All right, go ahead, Brian.
What's your take?
So, first thing I noticed about the kid was the soundtrack, and
Yeah.
I just thought it was friggin' terrible.
Yeah?
I honestly think you could probably find a better soundtrack by going onto the YouTube Music audio library.
Yeah?
It just
Alright.
it reminded me a lot of a comedy called Tommy Boy with
Oh yeah,
yeah.
hell yeah.
what's his I can't
Of
Chris
course.
Farley.
Chris Farley.
Yeah,
Chris Farley and David
it feels
Spade,
like
yeah.
it's called generic music playlist 1 is essentially what it felt like.
Okay.
That's
that's
actually
probably
generic music
true.
playlist 3. But I don't want to.
Yeah,
My bad.
Let's
So
get
yeah, that
specific.
was the thing that that annoyed me the most about the movie. That being said, I mean it was all right. It was
Yeah.
an okay Disney movie.
Yeah.
Pop
Like
that
I
score for us.
I definitely think that the relationship that Bruce Willis had with the assistant, she was
Yeah.
just completely
Lily
sarcastic.
Tomlin,
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
Yeah, just
That was the
did
highlight
not
for me.
care.
Right? Yes.
Oh, I love that. I love
Yeah,
everything
same. She
about
was
that. It was so
Lily
funny.
Tomlin really knows how to play that deadpan.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
the part where he goes to the assistant, he's like, "This is 8-year-old me. Make him disappear." And she doesn't even miss a beat. She's just
Yeah.
like, "What?"
So
Yes.
perfect.
So
But
good.
yeah, I don't know. Overall though, I don't know. I feel like it did feel dated for me, and I didn't feel like
Yeah.
I could really connect to the movie. I'm gonna give it
Okay.
a 4.
Yeah, wow.
Okay.
Damn. Brian hitting my heartstrings, man, pulling my heartstrings there. I obviously watched this one because I love this movie. I mean, I'm obviously partial. I chose it. It brought back memories of my childhood. I guess like for me, it was just so funny. Like I love the one scene. It definitely feels dated. I can just tell you how dated it was based on the one scene alone when the guy's sitting there, and the joke at that point in time is he's sitting there in front of the TV and he goes 99 channels and there's nothing on,
that
and
was
he like
funny.
does
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
nowadays, it's way more than 99. So that
but
alone
that
is
same
like, holy
joke's
shit.
so
But
old.
it's still the same basic thing.
Right.
So yeah, it's definitely a dated reference. That was like that's probably one of the first times they ever did that joke necessarily. But it's like, holy crap, they have made that joke 1,000 times since.
Yeah, but
then.
that was like the first time that was ever done.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean,
The funniest
I
thing-
definitely like. I mean, Bruce Willis has a couple corny. So the problem is I do think that Bruce Willis just didn't really know how to be a real true comedy actor in that.
Yeah.
Like there's that scene. Like every time he does that, somebody call the ambulance. It's just like it's
It
so
was sort of
deadpan. That's
contrived,
like where it's
yeah.
deadpan. It's not. Like he could have put more. Like he's not Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
He's not someone who just flows
Yeah,
so
with
naturally
comedy,
with comedy.
Although that's
and
what he
with,
started
you
out
know,
with Moonlighting.
it's
It was
just
a comedy show.
I don't know. It
Yeah,
just
it was
it doesn't
okay.
feel more natural for him. Like I believe it so much more when he is in an action type role. I just do, or like something like that.
I hate to
don't
say
know.
it, but you know what I think it is.
Yeah.
Don't castrate me, but I don't think Bruce Willis is a good actor.
No, I don't think
He's
he's
just
that
not
good.
very
No, he's
good.
not.
No,
He's
he's
not.
He has one face,
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 lines, and he doesn't even deliver those right.
You know that Kevin.
But he does action, so
Yeah.
okay, he does it fine. I
Kinda
mean, it's not
should-
bad action.
This movie should relate to us more than it does.
Yeah.
You know why, right?
No, why?
Because it's 3 generational.
It's 2 generational.
No, it's 3.
Yeah, there's
Why is it
third,
3?
there's a
That's right,
grandpa.
because at the end with the pilot.
Oh, the pilot.
Yeah,
Pilot's
the
the end,
pilot.
Pilot's him
right,
as
the
an old
dad,
man.
As an
in
old
30
man.
years you'll figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah, right. That's
I'm
true.
gonna fly planes.
So
All right.
yeah, but I think
So what would you give it?
I would give it a 7, at least a 7.
All right, that's
I think
pretty
I would
good. It's
give
better
it,
than
yeah.
what
Startled.
I liked it. I
Yeah,
liked
so
the
he
movie.
liked it.
man.
He did.
I
He
did like
He
it.
did grow up liking the movie.
All right. No, I mean, well, that's the thing.
The kid was
movie,
funny.
Sometimes you love it.
That young kid was funny. I
Yeah.
I thought he was kind of good.
Wonder where he is now.
I thought the 6.1 that they gave it was generous.
Yeah.
Really? All right.
I don't love Bruce Willis outside of
All right,
action.
let's go on to the next one.
All right.
Master of
Although,
Disguise.
yeah, okay. Let's
Going
move on.
to be a master of disguise.
Yeah. Okay, this was you, Brian,
Yes.
and I've somehow got to find a way to still move on in our relationship after you made me watch this. All right, I can't even lie. I did not watch the whole thing. I had to go like skipping parts. I watched the movie, but some parts I was like, so all right. I'll give you the synopsis if there is one. It's 2002, starring Dana Carvey and who gives a shit. Okay. So this guy plays an Italian restaurant waiter who gets in deep with certain unsavory characters, I guess. And he must use his disguises in order to infiltrate them. He's aided by the typical, prototypical attractive blonde who makes excuses for him, and you don't know, is she with him, is she not with him? And it really, to me, just played like an awkward skit on SNL, like the Freshity Peppa, that went on for
Yeah.
like an hour and 28 minutes too long.
Yep.
Oh my God, yeah.
Dude, it was so bad.
So
man.
bad.
It got a 3.3 on IMDb,
Wow.
and
Yeah.
I think Dana Carvey probably had his friends and family voting. Otherwise, it'd be like a 2.1. And I really like Dana Carvey. I think he's sharp-witted. I like
Love
his
Dana
political
Carvey.
commentary. I think he could do so many voices. He's really good, man.
Wayne's World.
But I got to say, OMG, I can't watch this ever.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Okay, my take on I like Dana Carvey and his comedy. I liked a lot of his like you said, they drone on. You get the broccoli skit on SNL, and you have the freshity pepper waiter thing. That's his comedy, but he does a great George Bush impression. He did a lot of political
True.
comedy things. He was even on one of the presidential
Thank you.
roasts, and he did a Bush while Bush was there, and everyone loved it. But I like the show. It was fun. It's a fun thing. It gets a little crazy, you know, the typical. But I think your analogy of it, where you're comparing it to an SNL, it was like an SNL movie of Dana Carvey and his skits from SNL. But I mean, I think 3.3 is a little low for that movie. I wouldn't give it a high rating. I would give it maybe a 5 or a 4.5, or maybe a little higher than a 3.3.
Okay.
That's all.
Right.
It's fun to watch.
So I'll just say I brought this movie up and I would give it a 3.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I discovered this movie. Me and my cousin watched a movie on like a car ride, and this was like one of the featured things on that disc. And we were like 8 or 9 at the time. We were like, "Oh, this is hilarious!"
Sure.
And so, of course, I bought the DVD. I watched it about 50 times, and I was like 9. And then, now I watched it again. Oh my gosh, it was
Yeah.
like. I think essentially what happened was they're like, we need to make a movie that really plays with Dana Carvey's impersonations.
Yeah, and that's what it
Yeah.
was.
But that's all they did. Like
Yeah.
they didn't really make anything to
I think-
support
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
and he just
Right.
does this like annoying accent the entire time. And oh my god,
so
it
disjointed.
has the most obnoxious credits I've ever seen. Did you guys get to the
No,
credits?
the credits. What?
I never watched
Tell us
it.
about
The
that.
credits are it's
God,
like
good for you.
it's like
I
a
don't do homework.
20-minute
You powered
long.
through it.
Yeah, it's
Brian,
like a,
you might get a medal for making it.
I swear.
I think
Right?
we should.
it's like a 20-minute long montage.
He's watching
that
it
just
like
keeps
there's
going and going and going, and it's I don't you just gotta watch
of like
it.
outtakes and stuff.
I don't know
or-
if I have
It's
to
not
watch
even
it.
outtakes. It's kind of like it's like a music video that never ends. I don't even know how else to describe
Brian,
it.
I don't even know how you made it through that. I
It's-
bet you somebody told him there was a secret MCU.
It's like a
extra
bad
at the end of the
ayahuasca
movie.
trip.
You crap and vomit and trip
Yeah,
out.
it's pretty much the credits.
Oh my
National
gosh.
do not watch.
So what did you
Master
say? You'd give it like a
Disguise Day.
3?
Yeah, I would give it a
Yeah,
3.
that could be
100%, I
that.
would give it a 3.
All right.
National do not watch.
Hey, you
Master
put yourself out
Disguise
there. I
Day.
appreciate it. It was pretty horrendous. Joey?
Yeah, didn't watch it. Obviously, I've seen it before. So again, me and Brian, we're relatively close in age. Brian is about 6 years younger than me. I had the same thing when I watched it when I was a kid. I thought it was hilarious because there was a lot of flashing colors and bright lights,
Turtle.
and I didn't have to use my brain very often.
No, you don't have to.
Once you
that
develop
movie.
a brain, you have the capacity to have thought. You're like, oh, this is like torture. This is like actual
It's just a platform
torture to
for-
my eyes and ears.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
a platform for Dana Carvey's impersonation,
Yeah.
like Brian said.
Okay.
I'll tell you what. If you ever wanted to imagine what Dana Carvey as a turtle would be like, this might
could
be your
watch
favorite
that
movie.
movie
of
I'm
all
would be
actually
time.
glad he
perfect.
said that because this is how forced it is. There's a scene where the guy goes in and you could tell they want to dress up like a turtle, and it's so obvious that it's just a setup so he could dress like a turtle. The club is called the Turtle Club, and he
Yeah.
dresses up like a freaking turtle. And the guy's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Turtle," and then he makes some growling sound that I don't know that a turtle would even make. So we wrapped up our movies. Hope you guys like that, and we're gonna finish out today with something we're calling, like I said earlier, the time capsule.
Time capsule.
We're digging out
Capsule.
words that were popular, phrases that were popular during our youth. I figured basically like your high school years, or whenever for you, 14 through 20. So anyway, does anyone particularly want to start with your
Sure,
words, and
I'll
the other
start.
ones will guess?
Yeah. I mean,
What do you mean,
I
guess?
So,
Like if it's not obvious what it means.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right. You just want to just go around the table and start?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. So that you go ahead. We'll
Go
do,
for it.
we'll
I
do
wasn't.
one-
At
go,
first,
go down your list.
when you mentioned it, I was like, shoot, I can't think of any words. So
Yeah.
I just Googled it, and then I was like, oh,
Yeah.
wow, I remember all
yeah,
these
same.
words,
That's
man.
happened to
Back
me
to you,
too.
right?
That's what happened
I was
to
like,
me.
wow, okay, we have to do this because it's so cool. And I think a lot of you people out there from the 80s, 70s, mid-70s, and 80s will love this stuff
Yeah.
because you probably don't remember it, but now you will, and you'll be like, oh, wow. Maybe we'll bring them back.
Yeah.
Bring some of the words back. But
Right.
gag me with a spoon.
That
Gag
was
me
popular?
with a
Gag me with a
spoon?
spoon.
Yeah, you know what that was?
So like if you
probably
didn't like something, or
Yeah, pretty much. If you didn't like a person's looks, you didn't like a person, if you didn't like a
Gag
particular
me
type of
with a
food, or if you
spoon.
didn't like
Okay.
a movie or whatever it happened to be, yeah, gag me with a
Did
spoon.
you say
You're like,
that?
gag
Do
me
you
with
remember
a
saying
spoon.
that, Joe? Those,
Yeah,
did you
yeah,
say it?
yeah.
Really?
I don't know if I
Hit-
use it that much, but yes.
Kill me with a wooden club. That sounds more
Right.
like your generation.
Yeah, pretty
Right,
much.
I like that.
Yeah.
Smite me with Thor's hammer.
Yeah.
Barf me out.
Barf me out. I have no idea. Just-
Isn't that something that the beaters say when they catch the snitch?
yeah.
Yeah, you might. But
that
if they
like
don't,
it's-
we're gonna
is
see.
that like
we're-
gross,
If
like
we
a-
don't, when we start our team, we're gonna have to go over the definitions of words we're gonna use for our team.
All right, tell
Sure.
me about barf me out.
So
When would
barf me
somebody
out is
say
when
that?
if you really wanted people to know your level of physical revulsion, you would.
So if you don't like
use
somebody
this
or,
puke-inducing phrase.
Give
So
us-
if you didn't like,
give us a little hint. Set
if-
the scene for us when you were using this
barf
term.
me out would be like again. It's almost the
Something
same as
grosses you out.
the one I just mentioned.
Yeah.
Gag me with a spoon. It's the same
Right.
kind of thing.
But like, what? This is you in high school. You're
Like,
just
here's an
sitting there and
example for
Sandy comes up and you're like, "Hey Joe," and you're like, "Barf me out, Sandy."
Well, the gag me with a spoon was probably more notable out on the West Coast because that was like almost like a Valley Girl type of an expression.
Uh-huh.
yeah, it kind of comes off like that.
Yeah, it was. It was more of a
basic white girls.
Exactly.
It was one of the
Just
few.
basic
It was
bitch.
one of the few Valley Girl type expressions that became popular amongst the mainstream teenagers of my day.
Cool.
But barf me out was just the East Coast version of the same word.
Okay,
so
fair
an
enough.
example is he's wearing jam shorts at church. Barf me out.
Okay.
I don't even know what jam shorts is. That should be another saying.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a whole segment on that next week.
yeah.
All right.
So and then 3 fat.
Fat?
P-H-A-T.
PHAT.
Fat. Just
like-
that was your
what?
generation?
That was us. I know.
No,
but
that was your generation.
that's
Brian.
pretty
That
hot and
lasted.
tempting.
No, the only reason why is because I did last a long time. That word.
That
fat.
was
Something was
fat.
That was
it was
fat.
pretty hot and tempting.
That's
Um,
gross.
fat.
Okay.
The
Yeah.
velour sweatsuit is fat. and then bad. Actually, the word bad was used like for good or bad, basically. But
Yeah.
and it
That's
came,
bad, man.
It came from a derivative, actually, from the movie Bad, I think. Actually, the Michael Jackson movie, I think it actually sort of came from that, if I remember
right.
somehow.
He's bad.
But anyway, like example,
really
just saw the
is bad.
baddest. I just saw the baddest trans.
I don't
ad
think
down
we
the
need
block.
the sentences.
All right,
Let's
no,
get away from
I don't
the
remember this one.
sentences
Bag
thing.
your face. I'm going to skip that one. I don't
Bag
remember
your
that one.
face. These are supposed to be ones that you use.
It's 5, Dad. Pick 5.
Have
That's
a
it.
cow.
Okay.
And this one was a big
Simpsons.
popular one.
Don't
From the
have a
time I
cow,
was a
man.
kid for years, I actually claimed credit for starting this word.
I'm sure you did.
Oh.
No, I did.
Walls fall on Janakula. Is that?
No, I actually claimed credit for starting this phrase.
Yeah.
And I still do to this day. I know I started it.
Uh-huh.
I used to, when people would say something stupid, you would go, duh. Duh.
Are you seriously? You're about
That's
to
what
say
he's
that you
claiming.
claim people
I-
going,
The
duh.
most
started
monosyllabic
it.
term. It's not even a word. Duh. It's
That's
I
because that
started
was the
the
first
sound.
human. That's because it was the first
Yeah.
human word ever
That's
uttered,
probably
and he
why.
was there. He was like,
duh. Wait a minute. Did he just say duh?
Yeah.
I'm gonna make that into a
And
comedy
I remember
revelation.
saying it because no one ever used that. And then
That's
I started
evolution.
saying that to people when they would say something
And thus
stupid.
the
I go,
alphabet
"Duh."
was born.
And then everyone started using
Seriously.
it.
Okay.
So it became
Did
very
you
popular
follow
because
that
of
up
me.
with adoy?
yeah.
No, that actually was a derivative of yes, doy. Yes, that was another one. Yes.
Yeah, that's weird because
Wow.
I'm pretty sure that I invented the word. I coined the phrase "hello."
Oh wow!
Hello, that's me. Yeah, that was me. That
Wow.
was me.
I won't. I have
You're
no.
welcome.
I have no
world.
nothing to refute that. So I,
Yeah.
you know.
All right.
All right, Brian.
Okay, we're going
let's
with that
get
for
your
now.
This
5.
is literally the most easy thing I've had to do in my life.
Yeah.
Like, literally, you're gonna know every single one of these. You're gonna know.
Well,
They
We may
have
not
this
know.
course at loosely related university too.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
they do.
They do. So first of all, this was big. Selfie. The selfie was born during my
Yes,
generation.
Oh,
yes.
it was.
Um,
Good for you, man.
Yeah, and I think it was actually added into the dictionary.
Okay.
What
It
is
was a big
selfie?
thing.
Nice.
I'm only kidding.
Oh,
Oh god, I was scared.
I'm only kidding.
Man.
and then there was YOLO.
YOLO.
YOLO was me. You only live
Wow,
once.
That's not fair. You get all the good ones.
Yeah, exactly. I get all the ones. Actually, I get all the ones that are still going around now. Next was I'm pretty sure swag.
Swag.
I think
man.
that was if
got
it already
swag?
existed, it was at least popularized with my generation. This is actually a big one.
my
Not that I
gosh.
did some digging for it, but Bay.
Oh,
And I remember
BAE. I remember when I first
this
heard
one
that.
snuck up on me a lot.
Okay, that's good. Thanks.
Is people were using it, and it actually really annoyed me because this is
daughter
one
uses
I didn't like when I was having it introduced to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I found it annoying. Like before all else, just why? Why?
Really?
What's
Is
the
that
point?
what that means?
Yes, before
Oh, I
all
thought-
else.
The only thing I knew about it, Brown, was my daughter or whatever would say to you like, "Oh, that's my bae" or something.
Yeah, it's like my number
Oh.
one. But I don't.
I didn't know it
never heard
actually
of
stood
It never.
for something.
It never clicked for me. I don't know why.
Oh.
I never heard of it.
Huh.
And then the last one is thought.
Thought.
Oh, no.
Thought. Yes.
I hate to actually follow up on that, but I saw a shirt one time when I first heard what that was.
Yeah.
Of course, for my kids and that.
Yeah.
I'm raising quality children.
yeah.
There was a shirt online, and it had it said "food for thought," and it had an arrow pointing downstairs.
That's awesome.
I'm glad I don't.
I get
I'm not
it.
part of this generation.
Oh
That's
yeah,
great.
it's,
Disturbing.
it's a garbage dump.
Yeah.
You're not a part of any generation.
No, I'm
let's be
not.
honest. You were the first generation.
First gen.
Don't you
First gen.
pull him and Grandma Moses down?
yeah, right.
All
That's
right.
pretty great.
So
All
what
right,
do you got
so
for us?
yeah, it's a funny thing too. I didn't really know that many, and then you Google it, and you're like, wow, yeah, I said it. I mean, I don't know if I said it all the time because I was actually cool. Not. Yeah. So the first one, a big one was in my generation was blang blang.
Blang, blang. That was
Which I
started
think is
by
pretty
That
obvious.
was started by 50 Cent, wasn't it?
I don't know.
50 Cent.
When I
Okay.
say 50 Cent, I love tries to say that. All right, so then number 2 is dime. So like if you're looking for a dime, it's like I guess that would be like a dime would be like a super hot woman, like yo, she's a dime, bro.
dime
That's like a
piece or-
10.
Yeah.
Like basically it means like a 10 out of 10.
Right.
The next one, this is I would assume that this is from Lil Jon, is crunk. Crunk was a
crunk.
big word. I remember in
was,
my
yeah,
generation
crunk.
was big. The other one was tipsy, and they made that club that song.
Bottle full of Bob.
Everybody in the club get tipsy. That was like my
Everyone in the club
generation.
get
And then the other one
tipsy.
was like, and it's so funny. It was freaking Paris Hilton started this, and like that's hot. That's hot.
hot. Yeah,
I don't know if you
yeah.
remember that. That was like
Oh.
the Paris Hilton. That was like
Yeah.
in 2004.
Yeah, yeah.
Right around like my generation. I just started high school when everyone started saying that. That's
Nice.
hot.
Totally.
That's
Oh
hot.
my god.
Yeah, there you go. And that's pretty much
Alright.
it.
My 5 are I'll go through them real quick. Most of them are from the early 90s, mid 90s, but some of them were like regional too. Some of them are like from West. When I met people in the military, they used to say this. Anyway, the one I say nobody seems to know what it was flat lever.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So so if you were
That's
hanging out with
generational.
somebody
That's
and
my
they
time,
found
too.
something better to do and they would just leave you flat, you're a flat lever.
I know
Okay.
flat lever.
Yep. You wanted to get rid of somebody or you want them to get out of here, go kick rocks.
Oh
Peace.
yes, yeah.
Kick
rocks,
buddy.
Yeah.
Hella. I always hated that.
Hella.
name.
That's so funny. I was gonna say hella. I couldn't tell if that
Yeah,
was my
no,
generation
I remember hearing
or
it all the
yours.
time.
Yeah.
That was
I know
hella
all of these.
cool.
What the
Hella
heck?
sweet.
And that was I only
Never
heard
heard
people
that
from
one.
the West saying that.
Yes.
I never knew
That's a
anybody
West
growing
Coast
up
thing.
that said
Same,
that, but they would
same.
say that.
Definitely West Coast.
Let's see, flat lever, kick rocks. Oh, that's off the hook or off the
Off the
chain.
hook, yeah.
Off the chain.
That's off the hook, off the chain, and that's where I'll leave it because I think the show was off the chain today. I appreciate
yeah,
everybody
yeah.
coming in.
Dude.
I just
Hey.
want to peace out. Anybody got something over here?
No, I think I'm good. Are we supposed to have anything else?
No, I don't know. Brian, what you got back
think
up?
you're-
I would like to promote something that's in my life for now. It's called the Loosely Related Podcast.
Oh,
Follow
look
us
at that. That's
on
weird.
Spotify and Google Play Music and even YouTube.
I'll have to check that out.
Nice.
I want to say
Joe?
just real quick, if you are not playing Gears of War 5 right now, you're an idiot. You need to play it right now or go out and buy an Xbox or PC and play it. And besides that, thanks for tuning in. And I appreciate all
I'm
the
going to go kick
everything.
rocks right now.
Yeah.
All right, we're all gonna kick rocks. Thank you. We love you all faces. Talk to you soon. Later.
Bye, everybody.
Peace.